I
All
know this.
right, everybody, and we are live. And welcome to Scam, Scam Tifa HQ, where some of my mutuals and I from Threads, we are going to talk about a whole bunch of nonsense and foolishness because people have just really been trying it. And truth is, bitch, I am tired of these hoes. And there has been so much misinformation. There has been so much, purposeful manipulation of the narrative. And I just wanted us all to get in one place and put all of the facts out there so that everybody who doesn't have all the facts, because I've been seeing a whole lot of people reacting off of very little context, if any, because everybody feels like they need to have an opinion, whether or not they're truly fucking informed or not. Um, but yeah, let's just clear the air. Hashtag Black women, hashtag cite Black women, hashtag pay Black women. And so I have a couple of my guests here. And so just kind of one by one, we are going to introduce ourselves. And since I am your lovely host today, I will go first. Hi, my name is Kiki. I am a writer and sort of just social commentator, shit poster from the internet. A little bit about me is, I have been a content creator for about 8 years now. Before I was a official content creator with like a separate page for my thoughts, I did go ahead and I was sharing my thoughts on my regular Facebook page, but then posting controversial and kind of contentious political opinions side by side with my baby, just kind of attracted the wrong type of attention to my private life and my family. And I ain't like that shit. And so I created a separate page. And it just has kind of grown from there. And then when Threads came out, I didn't expect to like it because I was never really that into Twitter. I could not get into Twitter. And so even though people would tell me all the time, you would kill it on Black Twitter, I just could not get into it. But for whatever reason, Threads caught on for me. And so now, for whatever reason, I'm one of the most visible Black women on Threads that is not actually a celebrity or public figure. So that is a little bit about me. Hi, I'm Uppity Negris.
Am I next? Okay.
Yeah, we'll just go
Um,
down the line.
okay. I'm Kia. I go by Kia underscore BS76 on Threads. I am a regular person. I also have a podcast called I Got a Lot of Things to Say with Geronimo Ronan. He is Black Yoda underscore 84 on Threads. I am one of the first people who got a Threads account when Threads first opened. I think it was like July 5th. Um, and Threads is probably the only social media platform that I have that's open. Everything else is private. And I just decided to keep it open and see what happens. I have a big mouth and I run it a lot. And I grew a very small but wonderful platform of about now 4.5K people. And sorry, that's my dog. Um, the work assistant is not in this. And so I just talk about my life. I do a little bit of politics, a little bit of social commentary, and talk about my life living here with my brother's dog, the work assistant, who is scratching on the door because she's trying to get in. Um, and that's it. I started my podcast. I got a lot of things to say in 2023, and we're on our second season right now, which is kind of on a hiatus. But yeah, that's about it.
Oh, well, I'm Misha Ailey, known as the Petty Auntie. I have been doing social media for quite some time, but only a content creator since I retired from the military for obvious reasons. On TikTok, it was kind of accidental. I just wanted to get on the internet and do bald headed whole shit with my internet friends. And then I and then I messed around on TikTok and predicted to the day when Russia was going to invade Ukraine, and then my account blew up. And I got forced kind of into the political niche, which is fine. That's cool, because it is something I'm interested in. And I started my TikTok live show about 3 years ago. And then after the election last year, I decided to end it and move on to other endeavors. I'm currently in college for mass communications. Um, I'm a freelance writer, storyteller, political commentator, journalist, however you want to frame it, because I'm not big into labels. I don't consider myself an influencer or activist or anything like that. I just stand for what's right. And that goes across all causes. I want to be on the right side of whatever it is. So that's just my thing, is doing the right thing and trying to hold other people to that same standard. So that's me, and I go by the Petty Auntie on all social platforms.
Yeah.
That's pretty much me.
Somebody said, "Woo child." I've been saying her name completely wrong, and I feel like that is a universal experience because I in my head I've been calling you Michelle, Michelle, like so.
Let me say it one more time for the one more time. Misha Ailey.
Misha
Okay.
Yep.
Really.
It's pronounced like it's got two ways, but it's only got one.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
we got you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Mhm.
we can hear you. With your look at you with your official microphone. Okay, we can tell you're a TikToker with that microphone over here.
Yes. Sponsored by TikTok Shop. Yes. Um, but my name's Diane. I have been in politics since like 2013, 2014. I'm from what y'all would say is Hawaii, but we say Hawaii or Hawaii. That's where I'm from, and you can't not be in politics. When I was growing up, they decided that they were going to give away a whole bunch of land to the government to do random projects with. So as soon as I graduated high school, like we had to get on the beat and actually like do some actions. Then Black Lives Matter happened. I was the only Black person on my side of the island, so like I had to make sure they knew I mattered. And that was kind of where I got into politics. I went to college and university finally, and that was where I learned about a lot of Black history. I had a political science teacher who used to be in the Black Panthers, so she was like not on that funny shit. She was like, you guys are going to learn some real stuff." And that's when I got woke. I was like, oh, oh, I didn't know it was like that. I didn't know we were really like that. And in university, I did a whole bunch of stuff with like Black Lives Matter. We had a Black Studies Matter. I met Angela Davis, but I've been on Facebook lurking on like Black Facebook and Woke Book. I actually followed Uppity Negress, the page, when it first came out. I followed Feminista Jones. I've been following everybody on Facebook for a long time. If you see me, don't out me and my real page. But
I don't want to out you, but I do want you to message me so that I know who you are.
okay. But yeah, I've been on Woke Book, Left Book, all the different books. I was all up in all the different groups. I had a reparations page for a while. Like your girl's been out there doing something and doing some stuff every single time. And I went on Threads because I hated Facebook for a while. And I was like, let me go try this out. And I built the Threads account from like 5 people. So if you're seeing me now, it's because I did something. Most people know me from Candlegate because I be in everybody's business.
I wish that we were all connected back then because the live that would have been had.
Yeah, I was all up in Candlegate, and I was apparently teaching all the white people how to be good white people. That never, just so everybody knows, I don't do that. That's not. I just had questions and I had concerns about Camp Call Out. I'm not affiliated with that person anymore. I do not like them. Just to put that in the air, and I will not be doing any more Zoom calls with anybody for free. So you gotta pay. You gotta pay. If you want racism 101, Black History 101, you have got to pay a down payment. So that's pretty much me. I'm all up in everybody's business. I have issues with people saying the wrong things all the time. In Texas politics, most of our issues are the fact that 90% of Texas just doesn't have the right information. So I'm very big on dispelling misinformation. There's 1,800 cities in Texas, you guys, and only 5 cities have a population of over 500,000 people. So there's a lot of misinformation in Texas, and I just spend a lot of time in Texas dispelling misinformation, and then that transitions over to Threads. And I'm also an insurance agent, so I'm all about the details, which is why I have 5 million screenshots.
I might have to connect with you. But I feel like you talked her up, Miss the woman, the myth, the legend, the one who wrote the book on the bullshit we are dealing with right now. Miss Feminista Jones is watching right now. And let me tell you, even though I was not a part of Twitter, in Black Twitter, like her influence is beyond platform. And so just the fact that she is watching little old us.
I know. I'm a baby. She's my teacher. She's Muslim. She's Muslim.
I was following Feminista Jones from Twitter, and she was the first person I think I went to find on Threads, because like I was like, okay, I need to find this person. And so I remember when we became mutuals, I think I like dry heaved a little bit.
Same.
And
I
I was like,
screenshotted it. I was like, oh my God, Feminista Jones
I was like,
back.
what? Okay. So yeah.
Yeah. Obligatory shout out to, one of the OGs.
Yes.
And then last, but certainly not the least, we have Miss Keandria.
Hold on. Let me say something really fast about Key. Okay, other Keandria. She be doing some work. She actually invited me to do a talk with her. She be putting people on. So not too much on her. Some people got a lot of stuff to say about her, but she really be putting people on. If she sees you and you align with something that she's doing, she will put you on. She will help you out. She's always helping somebody somewhere. So not too much.
Is it? What do you mean not too much? Is there some? Is there things?
Look. I know that there are going to be some people who are like
a lot, but not too much.
Yeah, there's going to be some people, but
controversial. Like I know that I be pissing people off, but child, you be pissing people off. All right, like I thought that I got smoke. All right, but you piss people off in a special kind of way, girl. It's a talent.
I've messaged her and been like, I am so sorry. I do not know why all these people are mad at you like this. Like all you did was a couple things a few years. All she did, people really started coming for her after Shiloh Hendrix, and I don't know why.
Oh,
why? Talking about you don't know why.
Let's let Miss
When I tell y'all, she be putting people. She's about that life, and if you say too much, I pull up.
Yeah, but let's let Miss Nail.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm Keandria Damone, and apparently I piss people off. But what I will say is this: baby, I have learned how to monetize pissing white people off. Okay. And I started believe it or not, I started as a radio personality and modeling, and then I got into social media. Wow. So I'm not just internet personality. I have a history of marketing. I was the first Black woman to ever own and operate a social media marketing agency in the Southeastern United States successfully. And I was the first person to own a social media marketing agency in Alabama. So I'm a social media marketing pioneer. The way you see social media, the way you see marketing happening right now, where you log on to your apps and stuff and you see them videos and stuff, there weren't people doing like that. And Black women like me heavily influenced that. So I'm always intentional about telling that part of my story, because I didn't just start with viral videos. I started there in diversifying marketing online. So that's what my history looks like. And I was running a marketing agency, and I started just making videos, and I just get in front of my camera and I just talk, and I'm one of those people, I don't give a damn. I will just say whatever I'm thinking, and people gravitated towards that, right? So for a few years, I was running my social media marketing agency, and I would go viral a lot. So I've kind of got into a lane of being a viral content creator. And while that was going on, I really just used to say my intrusive thoughts on threads. I'm still just kind of like, it's still weird to me that threads has turned into what it turned into for me, because I really just used to get on there and say anything.
Have
And that
fun.
was the place where I would just
Mm-hmm.
dump whatever intrusive thought, because as a marketing professional and an entrepreneur, so I was running a successful marketing agency. So naturally, a lot of young women and young girls gravitated towards me to learn how to run their own businesses, right? So I felt like I was in this box where I was having to be perfect little Miss Marketing Sunshine all the time. And then I'm like, this platform over here, I don't give a damn. I don't know none of these people. So I can just get on here and say what I want to, right? So that's who I was on threads. And then the election came. And so when the election came, I started talking about that because it was so in the forefront. But I was really just saying whatever the hell I wanted to. And I started talking about issues in the election, whether it was the people who were running, whether it was, the way it was impacting us, because I saw the shift that happened with that election. So I really started talking about that, and I built a community of people who were hopeful that this election would be different. We would move forward. We would change things, right? This country was just going to change. Lord, we were so naive and hopeful. But I built a community of people that way, and I started selling t-shirts with slogans and stuff like that. And that's how I built I built my following on threads. And then the Shiloh Hendrix thing happened. And that was not intentional at all. That's the funniest thing. When that thing happened, I used to be known for like dragging racist people. That's just something I did. I would call out racist people, and I was known for pretty much like nobody could really go toe to toe with me. You know what I mean? People would run every time I came at them. So when I was known for dragging racist people, people started sending me videos of the Shiloh Hendrix thing. And I was like, you know what? No, that's not enough to just drag her on the internet. I wanted to do something more. So I started digging into the situation, and I kind of accidentally exposed the payment processor who was processing those payments, and it turned into an entire thing. But like Auntie said, like, I did not at all expected to turn into that. I actually talk to my mentor about that all the time, because I'm like, I didn't ask for this shit. Like, I was not trying to be famous. I was not trying to be like, I'm y'all black leader. Like that, I'm okay with that, but that is not what I stepped into this trying to do. You know what I mean? So I bumped my head a lot. I'm kind of stumbling through it, but that's how I got into activism. Now I am an activist, and that's a title that I give myself now, but I feel like I'm different than a lot of activists because I really don't give a damn. Like, I really will say anything. I would just say anything, but it's more effective. It's effective these days. People are they're too obsessed with being politically correct. They're too, oh my God, did you see what this for? I don't give a damn. Ain't none of y'all gonna fight me in real life. You know what I mean? And
listen, I wake up every day and I ask myself, and who gonna whoop my ass?
who's gonna?
And every day the answer is no motherfucking
Nobody.
Every day I wake up and I ask myself, who will stop my check? And every day the answer is no motherfucking body.
I'm not like
every day I wake up and I ask myself, who is funnier than me? Who's wittier? And the answer is no motherfucking body. So you can't beat my ass verbally. You can't beat my ass physically. You ain't cutting off my motherfucking money. And so, what you gonna do besides be mad?
Be
all
mad.
Of that.
Be mad.
Anyway,
I'm like, I am 5'10". I'm 5'10", and I lift. Do you really think you go? No. Don't play with me. Don't play with me on these internet streets.
I ain't never scared. And and I relate to, like, I am a monetized creator, but I'm only monetized on Facebook. I don't like Instagram. I don't like Twitter. I like Threads, but they're not paying me no money. And so that's where I go to shitpost whatever I'm thinking about. I do not care about Threads at all. Like, love y'all if y'all love me. But my real community is on Facebook. That is where my intention goes. Whatever you see on Threads is whatever is on my mind in that moment. And apparently y'all like it. And I love that for you. But I never wake up every day like, you know what? I care a lot about how many Threads followers I have.
Right.
Threads is not paying me no money.
Your platform because that was the same thing with me when I wasn't depending on that clout. I was authentic. It allows you to be authentic. Like one thing a lot of people don't know about me, because I don't talk about like my personal life and my finances like that. But I lost my husband, who was a veteran, and he made sure, what I will say is he made sure that I'm financially stable, right? Like I lost my husband. Like it's not a flex because he, I'm a fucking widow, but I don't have to worry about paying my bills because my husband put things in place before he passed. So me going into content creation was really just me connecting and building community. I'm never just out here just trying to get money, trying to, you know what I mean? I don't need out in the views and this and that. And that allowed me to just be like, okay, I don't give a damn. If this disappears overnight, there's other things in place to where I'm okay. So I'm allowed to be my most unhinged self here. And that's what made my platform grow, though, is because I wasn't dependent on it like that.
Yeah, I'll say for me, I have the opposite situation where I went on Threads because my Facebook, as somebody said, is a dumpster fire. And I have classmates on there, and I have people that I know in real life on my Facebook. And let me just say this, I lost like a whole bunch of friends when I said, Charlie Kirk, he is not a good Christian. He is not going to heaven. They were like, block, 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 delete, Diane, how could you do this? And I'm like, this is just a fact. This is just a fact, you guys. And so Facebook, I don't get the chance to post on Facebook as much as I want the content that I want, especially because I do have like a lot of like actual family members on Facebook, and I do not feel like arguing with like my great aunt and my cousin and like my pastor from when I was I don't feel like tussling with those people. But
Girl,
I went on Threads.
What Kendrick say? I cut my granny off if she don't see it like I see it.
Right.
Look, Facebook, I like those family members are there for them to like my pictures and then for them to know what's going on. I do not care what, like, they say what's on their page. I say what's on my page. I actually just, I don't know. My Facebook has too much misinformation.
I would just cut in right quick and say that somebody tried to hop into the YouTube comments on some other shit and they were immediately banned. And so if you are here because you want to be on some other shit, please know that I will remove you because I don't give a fuck about blocking nobody. All right. Anybody who follows my Facebook, follows me on the internet knows you saying anything that I feel like is some bullshit. If I don't curse you out first, I will just block you. So act like you got some goddamn act right in these comments. They tried to start some shit between Kia and Feminista. Now, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about it. What I do know is not what the fuck we're gathered here for.
There is no beef there, and I said that.
Not you.
Me.
Between Kia Bia, apparently some comment on a podcast about something. Whatever it is, what I will let you know is I don't give a fuck, and that's not what we're here for. And you're gonna take that messy shit out of my goddamn comments. Amen.
Amen. I'm trying to figure out what, because I've never said anything but praise for Feminista Jones.
It don't even matter. That motherfucker can stay boring. Okay, moving along.
You are weirdos. Weirdos.
Stop trying to start stuff between powerful Black women.
All of our introductions, right? We are going to get into the meat.
You're not falling for that.
Yeah, we're going to get into the meat. Yeah, we're going to get into the meat of what we're here for, which is to discuss these people who have decided they ain't got shit better to do than to try to harass and police us. Okay. So I am first going to start by setting some background because some of the main points made by this group of people are that we are DNC paid, compensated shills who are anti-Palestine and are essentially psych ops sent to destabilize their mutual aid efforts. And
unlimited power.
If I was getting money from the DNC, I would not be living here.
I would not be on Threads if I was getting paid.
So what are your personal views on the Democratic Party, and what, if any, affiliation do you have with them? And we'll just go around really quickly, and I'll go first. Number one, I don't even like them bitches, okay? I don't like either party a lot. I vote Democrat because it is mostly like a risk mitigation strategy. But if you go through my threads, I am so vocally I am so critical of them that at times I get accused of being MAGA. I tell y'all all the time that blue no matter who is not a successful voting strategy.
It's not.
I tell y'all all the time the who clearly fucking matters. I was so critical of Kamala and all of her stances during the election to the point that I was getting attacked, dogged out daily by other Black women. And I didn't, y'all could be mad about it, but I don't lie. Anyway, so I don't have any official affiliation with the party. I judge them openly and I criticize them and I criticize them constantly. But at the end of the day, I voted for Kamala because fucking what's her face? Independent lady was not a good option, and neither was
Jill
Trump.
Stein.
And that lady, right?
Oh,
Yeah, she pops up every now and again to try to get some votes, and then she disappears. Where is she now? Anyway, she was not a good option, so I did not vote for her. And it was between Trump and and Kamala. So I voted for Kamala because that seemed like the best thing to do for my conscience. And if you felt differently, that's fine. That's okay. I'm not going to judge you, but you can't say that my logic in that is not logical. That is a rational thing. So I don't like the DNC. I vote according to what I think is best. Period.
I got divorced from the DNC probably about a year ago. I was a very big DNC Democrat. I'm still registered Democrat because where I live and where I want to move to has closed primaries, which means that I have to register as a Democrat or a Republican. I'm going to remain a Democrat. I also voted for Kamala pretty much for the same reason as Uppity did. I wasn't voting for a party. I wasn't voting for Trump. And, okay, well, that's who's left. I live in a pretty blue area. I'm originally from Washington, D.C., which is very, very blue. I could have done that, but I did not do that. I voted for Kamala Harris. I consider myself now an independent. For a very long time, I have always said that I was a socialist, and I still believe that. But until we get, other democratic socialists like Mandami in with the DNC, which I think is what the DNC needs, and we saw
that's
how
a whole different live.
that's a whole different live. But until we do that, I do consider myself a democratic socialist or / independent.
Okay. Keandria, you're next. And is it Keandria or Keandria?
Andrea. I was thinking that they keep calling you Kiki, and I'm like, throws me off. But it's Keandria. So,
Aja.
Yay, Aja.
Is it
I'm
Aja?
It's Aja.
Wrong today.
huh?
Hi.
Aja Barber is here from.
Oh, hey.
From the land of threads. And she's been chewing up these musty leftists like a motherfucker lately. She's so tired of them.
Them the business on Threads. I've been sitting back watching. But so I've been loudly in support of the Democratic Party because I feel like, for one, they ain't paying me. And honestly, frankly, they should.
Hey, Booker.
Like they pay me. You know what I mean? The Democratic Party wants to pay me. I'm already doing the shit for free.
So, Keandria, there's a screenshot of you floating around where you say you're something like a DNC content creator or something that I feel has been getting misconstrued as they are paying you or influencing you.
No, that wasn't it's not paid. It was when Kamala Harris started her campaign. I was very in support of her campaign, and I was a volunteer on her campaign. I knocked doors for her. I went to rallies for her, and one of the things that I did as
okay, yeah. So you were one of the content creators, like invited to document your
I
experience.
was just there. Yeah, like I was a part of her grassroots content creator team. So I was just one of the people who happened to be a content creator that supported her. So when I went to her rallies, I would get in, I would skip the line. You know, I would get in there, I would film, I would make videos. None of that stuff is hidden if you scroll far enough. You know what I mean? So that's all it was. It was never paid, frankly. Like I said, it should have been. But I felt like I wanted the more competent person in office, for one. So I was willing to support that because I saw how bad it could get with that man in office. And also, and you know what? I don't apologize for this because I feel like a lot of people liked Obama for the same reason. Not to say that he's above reproach or he's just this god, but the same reason people liked Obama when I saw Kamala Harris, a woman and a woman of color, get to the point of running against a white man, a
Primary, yeah.
for president, I was inspired. I didn't align with everything she said or did. I never align with everything everybody says and does, but I was inspired. You know what I mean? So I was very, very, very in support of Kamala Harris when she first announced. I was super inspired and I was very involved and excited to see her just fight, you know, go up against. I felt like this was a woman and a woman of color taking a stand against the white supremacy and systems that have been plaguing our fucking country for so long. I'm like, finally something different. So no, to answer, that was a long-winded way of answering your question. No, they've never paid me. But I was a grassroots creator in Kamala Harris's campaign, which means it's Googleable if those people would bother to do it. I was just a volunteer who was a content creator. So I would come to her events and volunteer and I would document it on social media.
Okay. All right. So there we have it, folks. No, all right. Misha Ailey, and I feel like I said that correct. Did I?
Misha Ailey, yes, you did.
Auntie, because I shorten petty auntie and just say auntie, but you're not my real auntie, and some people are weird about. Okay.
No, that's my handle. It's
That's a
been
whole
auntie
nother
for
live
years.
too, because I could talk for 45 minutes about why I don't like those people. But
So listen, I've always been an independent. I think part of that, I joined the military at 17, and they really pushed that we're apolitical. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm one of them people that grew up believing the indoctrination, the American dream, everything they taught us in K through 12. I was in it. And then I went from one indoctrination pool straight into another one in the military at 17. And when I use the word indoctrination, just for those that are watching, I don't mean it necessarily in a negative way. Um, we follow doctrine in the military, so you are indoctrinated. And I need to clear that up because everybody generally thinks indoctrination is negative. But with that said, I was very apolitical, and I'm one of those people that believe political parties will destroy this country, like George Washington said. And look at what's going on. But I have voted historically prior to 2015, with the exception of the primaries last year. Either way, it depends on who I thought. I voted Democrat, I voted Republican. But then when MAGA got his wheels going and they start putting their people up, I was no longer able to vote that way, with the exception of Nikki Haley in the primaries last year. And when I tell you, when I went to the polls to vote, and they was handing me a Democratic ballot, because in Alabama, you don't have to register. You just pick which ballot you want on that day, and that's the way you can go. And they looked at me like I was crazy when I said, "Oh no, I need the Republican ticket." And it was all old black ladies, right? And they were like, and I was like, "No, no, 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 wait, wait, wait." It was a lie. Hold on, wait. I'm trying to keep Trump off the ticket. But I did. I voted. Go ahead.
Really quickly, Elizabeth Booker is in the comments, and she was just talking about how a lot of the content creators that create for the DNC are broke, and they, you know, several of them had to share a hotel room. And, you know, if you want to know what is going on, you can literally just ask. And they would be happy to drag the DNC for you.
Because they didn't pay.
And yeah.
It was a lot of work, frankly.
A lot of work for free. But yes, Misha Ailey, please continue.
So yes, I said all that to say this is that I don't believe in political parties, and I think once you get a group, no matter what group it is, and they get too much power, absolute power, as we know, corrupts absolutely.
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 So,
Yeah.
I think political parties should be done away with altogether, and people, and I do believe we should get rank choice voting.
Choice voting. Agreed.
My bad, I'm going too far.
That is once again a whole nother live, child, because
My bad.
I could go for hours on all the different ways that I would improve our electoral process, because what we have right now is a whole bunch of bullshit. And
It is.
yeah, so we're gonna move into the next question.
Hold on, let me just say this real quick then.
Oh no,
them motherfuckers ain't paying me. They ain't paying me.
Okay.
Side note, I'm also not paid. I don't.
Okay, so next question. I don't know if you all have heard, but apparently we all hate Palestinians and we all hate Swana people, and we think that they should all die and starve. What are your thoughts about that assertion? If I'm the host, wait, go ahead, Diane.
So it is a historical. I'm going to go back to the books. I'm going to go back to the texts about Black liberation. It is ahistorical for people to say that Black people, the majority of Black people, are against Palestinian liberation. Since James Baldwin, Angela Davis, the Black Power movement, we have been very much pro the liberation of Palestine, because the liberation of Palestine and the liberation of the Black people, we're tied together. If we cannot be liberated, Palestine, it's the same thing. Esta mismo. We're not different. And for people to sit up on Beyonce's internet, whoever's internet you call to, okay, to sit there and say that Black people, especially Black women, are against Palestinians being liberated, it blows me every single time. I absolutely hate that, and I resent that. Also, like, that's just me. That's just me. We'll go into more stuff later on, but I genuinely hate when people say that, because it's just not historical. That Black people, somebody said that Black people are jealous of the Palestinians and the attention that Palestinians are getting, and I'm like, I'm not fitting to fight y'all over attention crumbs. If you can only be a single party, if you can only be a single issue person, and your issue is Palestine, go ahead and be that. Let that be your issue. If you can't think into bubblegum and figure out that you need to handle racism and anti-Blackness and misogynoir while you're also handling the liberation of Palestine, it's not like you're going boots on the ground to Palestine where you can only focus on one thing. If you got a single issue person,
and a very smooth brain, like, you can't multitask and worry about different things at once. So and let me tell you, our comment section, and this is what I love about, I don't know about y'all following, but I love my following so much, because I feel like I have some of the most intelligent followers on the internet as a collective, especially my Facebook. And let me tell you, they are going at it in the comments to the point that, like, yeah, it's I'm having to pull one every 30 seconds, because, like, I just want to stop, and say, first of all, there are African Palestinians.
We everywhere.
Literally, we are everywhere. Right. There's no part of the Swana region that there are not Africans that are native to those countries, or that have been living in those countries for generations, because that is how the diaspora works. And unfortunately, a lot of Swana countries also have a history of slavery, and not even a history of slavery. Some of them have a current reality of African chattel slavery. And so the idea that, first of all, you are not our colonizers and our oppressors. If you are a non-African Swana person, it's just objectively false, right? Like, you for a lot of African people in Swana countries, y'all are the white people.
Yeah.
Which isn't to say that European influence doesn't have a different impact on the region, but, like, cut it out.
Yeah.
But you're not a race. Swana is not a race.
It's a region.
You took my thunder.
It's like referring to the Midwest as a race. That's not how it works. It is a descriptor of a region, of a country, of a place, or in that case, an amalgamation of countries. So the idea that it's amalgamous, or analogous, blah 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 blah. What are words? Analogous to like racism is dumb and it's manipulative, and it'll only work with people
Yes.
who don't fucking know shit about nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you guys want to know about the African people who are suffering in the Swana region, please look at Lavette Jallo's, like, her work, because she's been really talking about that. She really gets into it. So y'all are like, oh, what's going on to African people in the Swana region? Please go look at her stuff on Threads. She's got it. She's loved my life. And she also really talks about that issue kind of like a lot. She's let me know a lot of stuff that I didn't know. And I was like, dang, am I anti-Swana racist? Like, what am I doing? And she was like, no, calm down. That's not how that works.
Lolo on Threads is Afro-Palestinian, and I do follow her and her daily experiences in the encampment that she lives in. I haven't seen her in my feed for a while, so thank you for bringing her up. I need to see what's going on with her. But yeah, I just like to say I am for a free, uncolonized, non-genocided Palestine. And if you look through any of my posts on the topics, like, I have been aggressively clear about the fact that I do not think Israel has a right to exist. I don't. You, like, how is it that this country exists and then other countries decide that you get to make a new country in the middle of it? How the fuck does that work? Okay.
Colonization.
Now, and I know
Because
people are
after the
like,
fall of the Ottoman, after
yeah,
the fall of what is it, the Ottoman Empire, it went into the British Commonwealth, and they the one that gave it to them.
yeah. So I mean, I don't think Israel should exist, but now they're here, and we just kind of got to figure out how they could maybe not try to ethnically cleanse an entire group of people to have more land. And so, a lot of people are pro a two-state solution for that problem of, like, we can't necessarily make them all disappear now, so what do we do to them? And I think that is, I don't necessarily personally agree with it, but I understand why some people think that, or would believe that, or would think that is a suitable solution. I don't know if anybody else wants to chime in on that topic.
Well, since you brought up the two-state solution, because I'm the two-state solution person, Israel is not going anywhere. And they're just not. But Palestine has a right to sovereignty. Palestine has a right to be recognized as their own country, and they have a right to be a sovereign nation of their own country, and they should not be under control of anybody. So that's how I feel. Um, it, for right now, the only path forward until we start dismantling other things, the path forward that I see as a solution would be a two-state solution. You're going to have Israel, you're going to have Palestine.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel
and
about it.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of like one of the things where I don't necessarily agree with it personally, but it makes logical sense. It's a rational thing to think. And that's kind of how I feel about people who were third party or independent voters, or non-voters, because they didn't want to turn out for Kamala. She wasn't progressive enough to some people. They turned out for Mandami because they felt like he was progressive enough. The Democratic Party needs to be actually giving us progressive fucking people to vote for. It's the job of the candidate to turn the people out. She ain't do that. And I'm just, and so even though I don't personally agree with it, and I personally voted for Kamala, I understand why people felt differently. And yes, we all got to deal with the consequences of those decisions in either direction. But what I don't like is when people are like, you don't agree with me, and so you don't make sense and you're wrong. And therefore you don't deserve to have an opinion at all ever. It's not like the motherfucker said, I would like to vote for the Glizzy Goblin, those are different those are different ideologies. So I mean, I feel like so often in especially leftist spaces, everything either has to be super duper extreme, or it just kind of doesn't exist.
Mhm.
Like, it and that gets frustrating for me because politics is inherently nuanced. You have to think about a variety of people. You have to think about a variety of issues, and just one perspective is never going to be the right one most of the time. Unless you're a Republican, then you're probably the wrong one. Go ahead, Michelle.
So I want to clear up because I'm kind of along the lines of Key, right? With a two-state solution, but I'm looking at it from
There
a
are 3 keys in here, ma'am.
Key B,
Kia,
Key B, Kia, my bad, Kia.
Kia.
So I'm kind of along with the two-state solution, but I come to that conclusion because I look at it strategically. And let me be clear, it's been standing with Palestine since day one, okay? Because if you go back through my internet history, 2 days after October, was the 7th or 8th? October
7th.
7th. 2 days, maybe 3, because it might have been the 10th. So if it's the 7th, yeah, 3 days after that event happened, that horrible, horrible event where Hamas attacked Israel, took prisoners and all that stuff. Israel's response, 3 days after Hamas attacked them, and I called it for what it was, a genocide, because being a soldier who was in Iraq for shock and awe, if we would have did in Iraq, Afghanistan, anywhere, what they just did and what they've continued to do, soldiers would have been put under the bus. Just like that crackhead, that's what I'm gonna call him, put them pictures from Abu Ghraib on Keandria. I was there when that happened. I was in country. And they put them soldiers underneath Fort Leavenworth. That leadership, everybody got relieved because we don't do that. So I called it a genocide from damn near day one. And called all kind of shit because at the time, remember, it had just happened. Everybody was like, oh my God, it's Israel's 9/11, blah, 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 right? So everybody at the time was on Israel's side. And me as a veteran, I'm like, hey, no, these are war crimes. This is genocide almost immediately. And they dragged me for filth and told me I was anti-Semitic and X, Y, and Z. You can't fucking win. You cannot win. Because when I was, Hamas is wrong. They're a terrorist organization, how they carrying out their stuff. But Israel's equally wrong. And if you call out either side, whatever side you calling out, oh, you anti this, you anti that. Goddamn, I'm anti people dying. I'm anti people starving. I'm anti civilians being targeted when they're non-combatants. That's where I'm at. So for y'all to sit up here and try to say I'm anti-Palestinian or anti anything for that matter, because I don't have a bone of damn hate in me. I had to go through that with my election where the damn mayor said and posted on his fucking Facebook how I feel about white people based on a fucking Substack that I restacked. It wasn't even something I wrote. You know how else I know it wasn't because of something I wrote? Because you ain't paid for no damn subscription and you can only see the first 4 fucking sentences of my damn journal. So stop assigning hate to me. So let me say it clearly. Me as a human, as a singular human, I am quite literally the culmination of almost every race in this fucking world. Okay? I have white in me. I have black in me. I have Latina in me. I have Native in me. Hell, if you go back even far enough, I got some damn Asian in me too. So stop saying that I'm hateful towards a fucking race.
Yeah.
I'm pro-Palestine. Stop the genocide, period.
All right. Diane.
So for me, I actually lost friends about this, but I'm pro-Palestine and I want to know what the Palestinians want. I'm not going to pick a two-state solution if that's not what they want. I think Aja Barba actually said something similar. Yeah, my goal and my focus is on what the Palestinian people want. I have been following this situation where I think Oprah did a show about the Gaza Strip in like 2004. And when I saw that, I said, oh my God, these people are all stuck in this area and this doesn't make any sense. Why are people attacking them? People like Hamas are the reaction to being stuck in that situation for generations and generations and generations. So for me, I can't say Hamas like that bad because they are a reaction to all the bad that's been culminating over the decades towards Palestinian people. They're a reactionary group. And also, Hamas does not have the weapons that Israel has. That's just a fact. Again, when we're going back to like what Cat Williams said about like insurgents, we don't know no insurgents. But then when you look at the insurgents, they're wearing flip-flops and we got bombs. Same thing with Israel. Israel has our weapons and our bombs. They have our stuff. And then Hamas is not that. They're the people who came from the Gaza Strip and they got some armage. And for me, October 7th, there was a lot of misinformation that happened. There was a lot of AI videos that came out. There was a lot of stuff. And I'm not going to deny that Hamas has hostages. But what I am not going to deny also is that this did not start on October 7th. This didn't start in 2023. This didn't even start in my lifetime. This has been something that my parents' lifetime were talking about stuff in Israel and Palestine. So for me,
hold on real quick, Diane. Let me address this before I get too far up. Just real quick. When I say equally wrong, I'm going from October 7th forward. I want to clear that up because that is so convoluted. If you want to go all the way back to the beginning, I'm not going to sit here and play this side is doing more than that side, X, Y, and Z. The bottom line is a lot of people have fucking died over land that didn't have to. We're not going to sit up here and act like Jews weren't persecuted too. So I have a mindset where I separate the government from their people. Because if y'all want to be 100, all y'all in the comments, as American citizens, do you want to pay for everything that your government has done? Present and historical? No, you don't. So I separate the people from that government. I apologize for interrupting. Diane, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine.
I just want to say really quickly to Diane and say that I think personally, anything that an oppressed, colonized people do to strike back against their colonizer is justified.
Yeah, that's to me. That's like if like them being mad about a slave rebellion. Like the slave rebellion happened because slaves were oppressed. So I like if people suddenly decide to get arms and suddenly like after again, this is not a new Israel didn't just happen yesterday. Israel didn't just happen recently. So yeah, we can be like, oh, let's not go back. But that's like if you're in a terrible relationship with your parent and they're like, well, we just had one fight. I don't know why you stopped talking to me. And you're like, girl, where have you been at the past 25 years?
And also to the point, nobody should be held accountable for what their government does. But for example, 9/11 was a response to, imperial powers interfering in Middle Eastern politics in a way that they should have, and American citizens died.
We need to step back. We need to stop
like maybe we leave people to fuck alone and they don't blow up buildings.
Yeah, that's my big thing is that we've been interfering in the Swana region, the MENA, Middle East, whatever we're calling it. We've been interfering over there too much. People getting pissed off. I actually don't want to assert any opinion or any decision on these people anymore because we obviously don't know how to make good fucking decisions. We don't even know how to make decisions for ourselves. And no, I don't hold the Israeli people accountable for what their government does. There's a ton of Israeli people, Israeli descended, Jewish people, and all that kind of stuff who are against what the IDF and what Netanyahu are doing. But there are also a lot of people who agree. And if you agree, I'm going to hold you accountable for the fact that you agree with what the IDF is doing in Palestine and what the Netanyahu wants to do in Palestine, that you agree with ethnic cleansing. So yes, individual people, that would be like saying that I'm responsible for what Trump is doing. No, I'm not. But also, like, to a certain level, if somebody sees me in the world and they're like, I hate Americans because of what your government's doing, okay, like that, I'm an American to some extent. I have a privilege because of me being an American. To some extent, I'm Black and a woman. So what? But to some extent, there's a privilege with just having that title. Israeli people do have a privilege over Palestinian people just because they are from Israel. That is just a fact. That is, the stuff is unequal. So in that regard, hey, if Palestinian people do not want a two-state solution, whatever they want, they have gone through enough. That's what they want, and I'm gonna support whatever Palestinians want.
Okay. All right. I feel like we've been stuck on this question for a while and we still have a lot
Yeah.
to go. I see here that Lavette is in our waiting room. And even though she was not a part of the original planning of this process, I do feel like she will have insightful insights. I'm going to go ahead and add her to the stage. And welcome, Lavette. Now that we've covered who we are, how we each have our own individual, not DNC funded fucking
Diverse.
opinions on the topic that are incredibly fucking diverse and not at all like we all sat down and decided we hate Palestinians and want them to die because the DNC told us to. We are going to move to the actual meat of while we're here. These hoes. Because these hoes been acting up, and let me tell you, this group of Black women is not fucking letting them. So we are going to individually, actually, before we get into this section, Lavette just joined. I'm going to give her a chance to say anything that she would like to say. Oh, she wasn't trying to join, so Lavette will will be removed.
Okay, okay.
Well,
But
Lavette
that
will
just
be
want to
removed.
let you know you are still the love of my life. I love you.
So she's been removed and she's watching on the YouTube. So I'm gonna remove you from the studio, Lavette. And if you have any insights, just go ahead and put them in the comments. So I'm gonna go one by one to each of us, and I'm gonna go in this one in a particular order because I want you to explain with this particular group of people, these broke, musty ass leftists and Scamtifa folks. How did you come in contact with them? And what have your experiences been? So, when did you first encounter someone from that group or someone associated with them? What were your initial interactions like? Were they positive at any point? And when did they become less than positive? Now, as far as I know, the first person to have a public interaction with them is Misha Ailey, the petty auntie. So I'm going to go ahead and give her the stage.
All right, so let me give you all a little background about me. I already told you all that I was, TikTok, do live show, used to help people out all the time. Well, me and my following got taken advantage of pretty damn bad. And those that were there for that are aware, and they came to speak for me when all this stuff started going down. So let's get to the interaction, right? Um, my first interaction was them sharing, quoting, and screenshotting my posts. And I have a firm boundary because of what I just told you all about not doing blind mutual aid. I don't even like when people just randomly drop their businesses in my comments, to be honest with you, because
You not promote yourself in my comment if I don't fucking know you and I ain't gave you consent, bitch. Period.
exactly, because it feels like that's an endorsement if I let it stay there. You know what I mean? I don't like that. And on top of being scammed and taken advantage of, I've been had this boundary for a couple of years now. Now on Threads, every once in a while, you get that blind mutual aid request in your comments, right? And I have a habit of screenshotting it and then showing everybody like, hey, reminder, stop doing this shit to me because it feels like emotional manipulation. That's what I said. Well, this particular time that I did it, which caused the encounter with them, it happened to be a Palestinian lady or family, whatever. I don't know. Don't care. Because I do it to white. I do it to black. I do it to Latino. Hell, if you was fucking green and you came out the ocean because you fleeing the planet because we about to blow this shit up and you was in jail as an alien underneath the ocean and you put that shit in my comments, I'm going to put it up there and say the same damn thing. Either way, they quote my post and started painting me as being anti-Palestinian and making my followers go target this Palestinian woman. And I'm like, what the no, no. All I said was, that's my boundary. Don't do blind mutual aid requests. I'm done. People was in my comments. I'm like, I don't do that because it might be a scam. I don't know you. And I wish I had the screenshots in front of me, but that's what it started as. So they started with them saying that I was anti-Palestinian because I sicked my, I think at the time, 18,000 followers on this lady, which was not the case. Nobody went to this lady page to mess with her because it's something that I do all the time to say, hey, don't do this. So it was no targeting, but they took it and they was running with it. Screenshots. So then the lies came. So I never had a positive interaction with them, just so we're clear. They said that I was hosting fundraisers on TikTok and keeping the money from the Palestinians. Let's get this straight. I have never hosted a fundraiser for Palestinians. I will go into my mutuals lives on TikTok where we all had a habit since this started of letting people sit on our panel and encouraging everybody to just gift them. Don't gift me, don't gift the other host, I mean the other guest, only gift this Palestinian person. And they'll rotate them out. It'd be anywhere between 5 minutes, 60 minutes. But the point was they got to sit on the panel and get the exposure from your show and get donations. That was how I was donating. And I told somebody that and they flipped it into me hosting a fundraiser and keeping the money from the Palestinians. Um, there were just the most ridiculous lies made up about me that were just easily debunked and disproven. And that was pretty much how it started for me. That was my first interaction.
Yeah. So I remember when Petty Auntie was going through this because that was my also first introduction to the my arch chinemy, political Persian. Because Keandria, I'm getting on her nerves right now. Look at her face. Yes, that was my first introduction to political Persian because I saw just in the wild, I came across a link of her just basically saying, I'm going to hold this person accountable because accountability, blah, 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 blah. And I popped in and I'm like, who the fuck are you? Because to hold somebody accountable, you have to be in community with them. You have to be, and not only do you have to be in community with them, you either have to be their elder or their peer. You're neither. And she blocked me immediately. She blocked me immediately. All right. Oh, yeah. She immediately blocked me. I quote tweeted her everything, and like we not doing this. Like this Black woman has the right to say no. And so that was my first introduction to her and how I feel like I got on her radar. I have a very similar mutual aid policy to Michelle because I am disabled AF. I care deeply about people, but I don't have time or energy or resources really to give. And what I do have to give, I usually kind of quietly pass along to people in need, with the exception of one organization that I support all the time. And it is ran by one of the people in our comments. Her name is Buffy. She is one of the organizers behind Voix Noir. And they provide so many valuable resources specifically to Black women and Black queers. There was a time last year when I was sick and on disability, and I was kind of like in between paychecks, and I had like just bought my house, and so my life savings were gone, and they fed me and my baby for a month. And I had been already kind of supporting them throughout the years, supporting their content throughout the years. And when I was in need, they were there, and we had community. That's what community does. That is the mutuality in the mutual aid. And Voix Noir, they also have a policy that if you want to benefit from them, you have to participate in that mutuality. You have to be a part of the community. You have to be one of their followers. You have to, also give when you can. You can't just be a taker, because then you're not in community and it's not mutual. Mutual aid does not work like, hey, person, I don't know, can you give me money? That is charity. And we already know that philanthrocapitalism is not a solution to the world's problem. Community is. Community does not look like random people asking random people for money. It just doesn't. And yes, it would be nice if it happened that way, but it just doesn't. And I have a policy of I don't want random people asking me for money either. One, because I don't have it, and two, because I don't know you, and three, because I don't have the energy to get to know you to try to decide if it's, smart enough, if it's smart for me to get it. And Voice Noir, they do the work of the vetting, so I don't have to, and I know my money is going to a good place and really benefiting somebody who needs it. And so it has always been also my policy of I don't give to blind campaigns anymore. I don't want to hear it. If you tag me, I also feel like it's emotionally manipulative, and because I didn't consent to being interpersonally and exposed to your trauma today. I have CPTSD. I've been tagged in some really triggering shit. I just don't want to do it, and I'm not obligated to. And it really grinds my gears, grinds my nerve that because literally just the fact that I'm a Black woman that is existing in public, people want to give me a job.
Assigned role.
Exactly. I am literally just existing. I am shit posting. I talked about sharding myself the other day, and and you are like, oh yes, nonprofit organizer right there. No, I'm not. That's just not my role. I am an observer and a writer, and that is just as an important part of Opal, get your ass. My fucking cat just got on the baby swing. But yes, like that, everybody has a different role in resisting the system that we are a part of. My role is supporter of people doing those efforts, writer, observer, right? And that's okay. Everybody doesn't have to be everything, and everybody doesn't have to do everything.
Exactly.
And when you're in an actual fucking community, you don't have to.
Right. Absolutely.
And so that whole discourse with Misha Ailey and these pointy chin bitches and pointy chin adjacent bitches, like, fucking pissed me off. Because first of all, she does work. I see the work Misha Ailey does for other people. Right? And she has the right to put boundaries around what she's willing to do, when, and for whom. We all do. Right. And that argument is just more about the fact that you feel entitled to our labor than it is about the people. Because guess what? I looked it up. I went back when I was doing my research, because I'm writing a series of Substack articles about this, because I want to document it on the record, because I can see that these musty bitches are never going to move on from this. And I just want it to be out there for people to look up when they look up our names, so that they have a record of what actually happened. The original campaign that Misha Ailey said no to has not really gone anywhere since she said no to it. So for the thousands of you that sat in her comments for days about how she has to help these people, y'all didn't come about y'all pockets. Y'all didn't share it.
That was in August.
And that was in August. We are now in November. I looked it up. And most of y'all have not, and that's how you know it's not mutuality, because y'all don't have anything to give. Y'all don't have anything to give. Y'all are just taking. And I think somebody might have accidentally given out the StreamYard link to this. I need you to know, if you're not supposed to be here, I'm gonna kick you out. So just go to the YouTube, baby.
Accident.
Was that you?
I archived it. Y'all saw me leave, right? Y'all saw me leave the live. I was like,
so, damn it.
She said, Kendra, did you mean to
and this is how you know we not organized, y'all, because
I'm so sorry.
Those will slip with a sunk our ship.
I immediately and deleted that. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to post the YouTube link to tell people, hey, come join us, but I posted the wrong link. Sorry about that. That was me, guys.
Well, they was finna come join us.
join, like on the stage.
So I joined the discourse around just like Black women's labor, mutual aid, and it's okay for us all to play a different role. Okay. But they screenshot that. And I know that they screenshot it because there's a post that I have from that time that they screenshot and they said 8 hours ago. And so that put me on their radar as we watching this bitch, we gonna get her. And then chorus happened. And I know Booker's in the comments. And you know, girl, if you want to get up in here, you welcome to come up in here. But chorus happened, and then they really decided, yes, these are all Democratic Party shit, like shills who are being paid to not talk about Palestine, despite all of the objective proof that that was false.
The amount of fact checking I had to do when people were like, Booker Squared never did anything. And I was like, let me go on TikTok because I know.
Can't hear you, Diane.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We hear you.
Okay. I'm back. Am I back? Am I back? Okay. So the amount of fact checking I had to do after the chorus article, because people were like, Booker Squared never said anything about Palestine. I'm like, I follow her on TikTok. I know she said something. And then I had to go back, find the video, screenshot it. Same thing with the petty auntie. They were like, she never said anything about Palestine. I was like, go back, get the screenshot from 2023. She was talking about Palestine. 2024. Like
fucking Boolean search.
Yeah, I'm like, the amount of times where I'm like, hey, you could just look up the anti-blackness against, like, the people were like, where are you talking about anti-blackness? I'm like, if you put my name in the search engine on Threads and then you type in anti-blackness, you will find every single post. If you want to talk about Palestine, just put my name in the search engine and then put Palestine and it'll come up. You can do that with any creator that you're like, oh, I wonder if they said it works on TikTok. It works on Google because Threads is Google SEO optimized. So you can go look it up. I can literally Google people and the word Palestine and find every single thing. So it was blowing me that people were like, y'all have never posted about Palestine. Oh my God, the DNC is paying y'all not to post. And I'm like, it's right there. It's
For me, honestly, with that whole chorus article, all you had to do was look at who wrote it and then be like, oh, her, and not take it for truth. That woman can't write for shit. And I'm gonna say it. She can't. And that's another live. Anyway, keep going. That's another live for another day. But you know, the moment, oh, she wrote it, this is some bullshit. And it was some bullshit. I was like, okay, so a group that wants to pay left-leaning
all of these,
creators,
like, Republican,
right? You know, like Republicans wants to pay, you know, left-leaning creators what they're worth. What's the problem with that? Where is the dark money? And then this hoe is getting money from the same group of people.
Yeah, and
the same group.
The same group.
It's mind blowing because if you see like Turning Point USA, I've talked about this after Charlie Kirk, the whole thing. If you look on Turning Point USA, they pay people so much money to sit there and make misinformation. They get to sit at home and come up with all these conspiracy theories, and they have the luxury of sitting at home every single day for hours to do this. They have the luxury of buying high-end equipment and all that kind of stuff. Why? Because Republicans, MAGA, Turning Point, they see value in people being creators on the internet and they pay people. And we don't have an equivalent on the leftist side. Like there's no equivalent. There's no giant. If you go to Turning Point USA's 3 different pages, they sometimes have walkthroughs of how you can run for political office. We have nowhere where all that information is just in one spot. Every single creator you want to talk to is in one spot. All the information that is not true is in one spot. All the different tactics of like, here's how you can flip your state is in one spot. We don't have that. So for people to be like, oh, so somebody got paid, that's the problem with the left. The reason that we don't have all of our information in searchable places is because everybody's broke and we can't we're all doing this after work. So we got to work our 5 jobs and then come on.
Exactly.
So after chorus dropped, basically the Palestine police was like, yes, This is what we needed. Now we have a list of people for us to attack, and we have a semi-justifiable reason to be asshats. And so they started going after chorus-related people. And so I was just scrolling through my feed, and then I see Moonface herself in a screenshot that was shared by James Crocker, who is a literal teenager who just graduated, high school. And here comes this 32-year-old woman in his comments talking about it's okay for her to sexually harass him because he's grown enough to take money to not talk about Palestine. And I literally just said the most simple thing ever. Why she got a Habsburg chin?
That really set people off.
And that really sent people off. And almost immediately I started getting comments, hey, this is transphobic. And I'm like,
there's no trans people here.
There's no trans people here. This is a cis woman. And I just noted the shape of her jaw. I didn't say it was masculine. I didn't say it made her manly. No, it's not transphobic. Then leftist lawyer tried to hop in on that. And I had to immediately smack her hand like, no, ma'am, Miss Cheryl. No, ma'am. This ain't got shit to do with you. But also, how do we know they talked about your jaw because you trans? Maybe they called you a Habsburg jaw because it's European and you're white.
And the Habsburg jaw historically has been used to denote denote incest. So that's what the Habsburg jaw is.
Yeah, and so then they went to that. And Cheryl did eventually apologize. So y'all, the bitch ain't never apologized to me.
Oh, that's
she never apologized to me. And you know, a lot of that caused a lot of discourse for days across social media about is me as a cis woman talking about another cis woman jaw transphobic just because somebody might have said it to a trans person. It's like saying that Keandria's comments about calling old girl bug-eyed are also anti-black because I got big old eyes. It's fucking stupid. Shut the fuck up about it. It was not a nice thing to say. It was not a nice thing to say, but I'm not a nice person. And that's okay. You don't have to like me. But like, and then they said it was anti-Swana, and that is the most ridiculous assertion of them all because it insinuates that all Swana people look the same, or all people in the Swana region look the same, and that they all look like her. And as we know, that is objectively dumb. And so to all of this, I'm like, no. It's going to be a no for me. None of these arguments stand up to any sort of critical whatever. And they were so mad that they could not bully me and browbeat me into accepting this manipulative like framing of this topic. I said a not nice thing about somebody's chin. It was a personal insult. It was not a social justice call. All right. But they have been going on about that. And really it's because political person is insecure about her chin because I feel like she's done a lot of Mar-a-Lago adjacent work on herself to look like that. And I would be very upset too if I did all of that and that is where I landed.
And that's really what triggered her because James said, you look like a Republican.
Yep.
And that's what triggered her to sexually objectify him, basically. That came from him saying, you look like a Republican. And I mean, you do look like a Republican. He wasn't wrong.
Yeah. And so they harassed me for days about that, about a week. And I got so much, like, it was like constant hate all the time. And like, a lot of it was like, and I know Keandria, you know, she has her own side of this because they were simultaneously coming for her. And so she'll go next. But yeah, and so that's how I got drug into all of this. Now, at the time, they were not saying that I was anti-Palestinian. They were just saying that I am anti-Swana. And then we evolved further down the line to calling me anti-Swana just because I had the audacity to question their framing of this personal insult that I made towards a woman who was Swana. because again, anti-SWANA racism is not a thing. It's just not. A person can be Islamophobic, a person can be Arabophobic, um, but the idea that I made fun of one pointy bitch's chin, and that means that I hate every person who lives in Southwest Asia and Northern Africa, it's dumb. I'm not gonna pretend it's not dumb. I'm not gonna coddle your feelings about the fact that it's dumb. I'm not gonna pretend like it's a valid argument because it's just not. And that's the autism in me, because I need words to mean something, and I need them to mean what they're supposed to be. And those words in that order don't make no fucking sense.
Right.
So eventually, I effectively bullied them into shutting the fuck up and moving on with their lives. And then, I'm gonna pass it over now to Keandria so that she can pick it up.
Okay. So one of the things I want to say, as far as, because I know people ask me, what's your stance on Palestine? Which we've made it very clear how we all feel about Palestine, but this is something I feel like I need to say because I want people to know this about me, and I don't give a fuck, and I will not apologize for it. I have said before, I'm not red or blue, I'm black. My interest is the black people, okay? The black people in America, the black people in Sudan, the black people in the Congo. I don't give a fuck where they're at. My interest is the black people. And I think people trying to put me in any other category than that is partly why we got here, because I'm so invested in black culture, black stories, black liberation. They're like you said, I'm a black woman. They want to assign me a job, and they're like, you're not doing enough over here. Okay, I got my hands full with the black people being strung up in trees. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's partly how we got here. So I just want to make that clear. Like when it comes to a party, I'm a black woman. So I vote in that interest. And I'm not so loyal to any person or any party that I will overlook your anti-blackness ever.
Right.
Ever. And so in this case, it started with me promoting my book. Now, what a lot of people don't realize, this shit has been going on for months. The first screenshot I had from Political Persian was back in April.
Same. I've been into it with her since April.
I was gonna say, I literally went on her page and she had documented everything. I was like, this bitch been bothering me since April. The first comment was from April. And
but can we just stop and acknowledge how weird that is, that she had beef with you since April and you ain't know to fucking August? Like what like, and when I say that this is a coordinated, targeted campaign towards the black women on this app, that's the type shit I mean. Carry on.
Real quick, Keandra, before you get in there, because I don't know like your followers and who all's in the chat, and I'm paying attention to the chat and probably shouldn't, but I want to address the fact that y'all keep bringing up that Buzz Life shit.
Get the fuck over it.
And it keep hell. Every marginalized group has been called a bug or an insect by the oppressors at some point. It's a fucking reach.
I'll talk about that.
Go ahead.
This is the thing. She got big ass eyes.
I do too. People call me bug-eyed all the fucking time.
This is the thing. My husband has big ass eyes. My own child has big ass eyes. This is it. I posted screenshots of me literally calling my own husband bug eyes, right? Like, you have big ass eyes. And the way I respond to these people online, because I know if I clap back how I want to clap back, you just gonna call me aggressive. You gonna paint me as the bully. So what I've learned to do is to use comedy. And I have seen a tremendous positive response to that, because you can't paint me as the bully, right? Like, I use comedy. I'm not gonna cuss you out and do all this. I'm a roast the fuck out of you, and people are gonna laugh at you. Now you look dumb. So that's how I started doing the profile pictures, all of that. I'm just like, you know what, you're not gonna get under my skin. I'm gonna put you on the big screen and I'm gonna roast you, and everybody else is gonna roast you too, right? So with me calling her bug eyes, it was really that simple. She has big ass eyes, and I think anybody who fell for that is a fucking idiot. That woman literally said, this is what she said, because I'm not above reproach, right? There are certain things, like maybe with our lips or our noses or whatever, like if there's something that's a cultural context that I didn't understand and somebody explained it to me and I'm like, oh shit, I won't say that again. You know what I mean? I could receive that differently. I've never had that experience here. It was specifically Political Persian being manipulative. She said, by calling me a bug, she is saying that I, a SWANA woman, should be exterminated. Are you fucking
That's how you know that she's white adjacent as fuck. Because why do her tears have that much power?
Yeah.
That is literally the leap she made. It wasn't, hey, nobody, it was never, hey, people in my ethnic group or whatever, people who look like me, we have been persecuted for our eyes and we have been called bugs. So, you know, that's racist. Whatever. I would have received that differently. That's not how that happened. It was after I called you anti-black and after I called you bug eyes because you got big ass eyes. Everybody can see that. It was, oh, she's trying to say that I should be exterminated. Are you fucking kidding me? I literally laughed at that. I laughed at that because it was dumb. Like you said, it was dumb. It wasn't rooted in racism. It was your specific experience. And I'll say that too, because I'm against harm, period. I'm against killing people, innocent people. I really just wish everybody would just stop killing everybody. You know, could we just stop killing everybody? Because that's so crazy. Like, I'm against harm in general. Right. So to think, I think it's dumb. I think it's dumb to think the civil rights activists who led an entire movement to stop harm in the United States just hates everybody in Southwest Africa, Asia, and North Africa. You know what I mean? Or whatever the region is. It's crazy to think that I would just hate them and want harm to come to them when my life's work is to stop harm. That makes no sense. I don't hate anybody.
I'm gonna cut in here because Gia Spruce is just really insisted on there being a history of this. Okay.
Okay. I would like.
Oh, go. You want to cover it, Diane? Because
Yeah. So I understand. I had somebody reach out to me and say, "Hey, this is why the bug eye thing is offensive." Okay. People talk about exterminating people in the Middle East. Swana. Now, my bad. I'm locked in with you. But it was very disingenuous for a political person to say that because y'all may not remember this, but back in June, Aaliyah, I'm so sorry, girl, if you're watching this. She made a post about, I think it's Aaliyah too. She made a post about Iran when Iran was having the bomb situation. She made a post and she said, "Hey, Iran," and then she put the address to the White House. Political Persian, who I need to let you guys know, she was my mutual at the time. So me and Political Persian followed each other, I think, after April. But then she started posting weird stuff, and I was like, I need to kind of watch her because some of this stuff might be a little anti-black. Then I saw a comment randomly in April and said, that's noted. When Aaliyah posted about, "Hey, dear Iran, here's the address to the White House," Political Persian goes on her page and says, "Wow, as if the America hasn't done enough. You want to da-da-da," and she went off. There's a screenshot. You can look up my name and Political Persian and you'll find all the screenshots. But she made a post about that. And then Aaliyah was like, "Hey, I would literally never wish harm to the Iranian people. I know that America's harmful. Why, don't say that." And I was like, hey, maybe she misunderstood the post. Typically, she's kind of cool. I was wrong. Typically, it's not the way. And she started commenting on Aaliyah's post like, "Wow, so you're just going to limit comments? Also, telling Iran where to go is patronizing." And so I responded to that and I said, "Hey, I'm going to DM you because I think you're misunderstanding Black humor, because there was a whole thing in June where people were misunderstanding Black people's jokes and they were taking them and then running with them." So she said this and I messaged her. She did not respond. She unfollowed me, all that kind of stuff, simply because I said, "Hey, you're misunderstanding this joke. I'm Bennett and I ain't in it." So she has a history documented of being anti-Black and taking something that somebody says that a Black woman, I need to specify, she does not do this to Black men at all, but she will take a Black woman's quote and she will say, "Hey, this is how this could be anti-Swana," and post it on her page. And then all of a sudden, all these people want to go back to the other person and say, "You're racist. You hate Swana people," all this kind of stuff. That is the same exact pattern that happened with the Bugs Life picture. Y'all beefing individually. Yeah. It's an individual beef.
If I can just get in to the point of pattern, you have to remember that the Bugs Eye shit came after she tried to make my comment about her chin, which is not at all related to her ethnicity or her race, and it's very individualized feature. She did the same exact shit. And so she takes any comment about her appearance and then tries to make it something bigger. And I have been really thinking about a name of what to call that, because I do think that that is a behavior that needs to be named. When somebody who is manipulative takes something that is not at all structural or systemic and that is very personalized and tries to make it into something else. My comment about that cis woman's chin was not transphobic, but she found a way to make it so. And it's kind of like, and so that behavior of hers, even if you can argue or you want to argue, because I don't think you could argue, if you really want to argue that it is valid in the context of her being called a bug, it was absolutely not valid in the context of talking about her ugly
right,
kid.
exactly.
But let me jump anyway. And the reason that she's always going to do it is because she knows that it works. You can't.
Okay, Auntie.
Let me jump in real quick. Yep. Y'all got to stop saying, this person made a post, that person made a post. I know that Keandria and Kiki are their accounts is well beyond mine, and I'm between 40 and 50,000 million interactions monthly. We do not see everything, so stop saying, "Oh well, a lot of people may post about it." Okay,
I said that
millions of people every month.
Talk about what y'all post. Most of I would not see anything y'all got to say to me if you didn't tag me in it or come to my comments, and I feel like y'all know that, which is why y'all always come directly to me to harass me.
Also, we block people. Was there somebody was like, oh, I think her name is Snowra. They're like, oh, Snowra posts about this. I had Snowra blocked for like 6 months. I haven't seen
all those
anything that
people
they
blocked. So exactly. I have all those people blocked for the same reason. And I don't see everything. And I think I probably have the smallest account of everyone on this stage right now.
Accounts, and we don't see anything. But we need to contextualize that Keandria got brought into the petty auntie situation by political Persian. Somebody, like, people would just make random comments and be like, oh, that's some stuff Keandria would do. Then the same thing, the whole reason that she's even in the
into that too. Yep.
Yeah, the Bugs Life thing was because she got brought in. She just randomly made a snipe at Keandria, and then people started being like, oh, yep, that's some stuff Keandria would do. And now Keandria's in it, and she's trying to respond back to political Persian.
I'm going to stop right here and say that, Gia, you can go, girl. I don't got time for it. You have a good one. Next.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where, like, Keandria wouldn't have even had to respond if people didn't keep just bringing her, especially political Persian has been following her.
Stating
like it is
harassing me.
Yes.
Stalking is to the point of harassment and stalking. If I have said, hey, leave me alone, and I have blocked you and you are still repeatedly reaching out to me, that has been months for months. And I want to say this because there is this, I don't know if it's the left, I don't know if it's the social climate we're living in, but I feel like there is this sensitivity to where, oh, I have to make sure there are certain lines I don't cross regardless of what anybody does to me. I'm not that bitch.
I'm not either. I'm not that bitch either.
You're fucking with me. Even with like the Bugs Eye thing, like if that is something in social context or cultural context that, I should learn about or I could have received differently, how the fuck can you harass and stalk me and expect me to receive that positively? I should learn about your culture after you have been harassing me. I think that that's unfair. I think that,
and I want to point out, Keandria, and to everybody else, this is international, y'all. I want y'all to know that we are being harassed from people that are not even in fucking America.
And
getting death threats from all the way across the pond.
With political Persian or anybody else to harass and stalk me for months and bother me and antagonize me, and when I respond, to police my response and say that it was insensitive to your culture, that's like breaking in my fucking house and complaining that I stepped on your foot. Bitch, I don't give a fuck about your foot. Why are you in my house? I've asked you to leave me alone. If you would have left me alone, you wouldn't have to worry about me being insensitive to your culture, because your culture and your big ass eyes would have been over there, away from me.
And reminder, political Persian blocked me the first time I called her out about petty aunties, even before I made the comment about her chin. So she coordinated all of those people to attack me somehow from a comment she couldn't see.
Yeah, y'all send the screenshots. Send the screenshots. Everybody got screen cap. All of a sudden, we send the screenshots. People who have people blocked for months. Political Persian shouldn't be able to see my post because I blocked her in August.
Exactly.
But she's got my post. She's got everybody's post here, but everybody got her blocked.
Posting commentary, and I blocked you in April.
Right.
That's weird. You're weird.
That's weird. But
weird one.
And we'll get to this in the next part about how all of them have these multiple like profiles that they use to fucking monitor us like they're the goddamn, again, Palestine police. Like, what the fuck? But Keandria, I know that you have had, that was kind of my last big run-in with them before recently. Because again, I think I effectively bullied them into minding their business for a little bit. But just from what I have seen, their harassment of Keandria specifically has been
insane,
nonstop,
ridiculous. Every day.
They have brought up this woman's disabled mother being, sexually assaulted. Absolutely fucking disgusting. They have gone and sought out her brother, who is a fucking pedophile, to try to get dirt on her. I don't know what their specific, like,
what's the end goal?
What is the end goal? Like,
but what is the point? And I say this,
violent art of her.
Yeah, people have had beef with Keandria since Shiloh Hendricks. People have been saying she's a grifter, she's a this, and I'm like, how is she grifting? She ain't take no money from the we're trying to stop the money. She did a job, she did a thing, she figured out who was doing what, and she publicized it. It's the same thing that I did with Candlegate. And people didn't call me a grifter with Candlegate. They didn't say, oh, Diane's trying to capitalize off of this, da-da-da-da. We did the same type of research. And we put it out there, say, hey, here's what's going on. Here's who this is behind the mask, who is sponsoring this type of bigoted stuff. And for some reason, people are like, Keandria's a grifter. And hey, look, black men, I love y'all, like in the theoretical sense. But a lot of the hate comments about Keandria and Shiloh Hendricks come from a lot of black men. And then I find those same black men on Political Persian's post, egging her on, saying, yep, that's exactly da-da-da-da. On Mia's post, that's exactly da-da-da-da. That's not cute. That's not cute. And that's not fair. And it's been going on since April?
Yeah.
And 7 months.
Like I said, my block finger is trigger happy. And so that's when, after this most recent bout, right, I was like, maybe they're not necessarily bothering me right now, but I see them attacking this black woman too much. And I don't fucking like that. Because now this is a pattern. You've gone after Petty Auntie. You've gone after Keandria. You've gone after me. And you just keep going at Keandria. But I have been successful in getting you musty bitches to leave me alone at least twice now. And so let me enter the chat. Because it's just not okay for like their behavior has just not been okay. And I know that Keandria is a strong person and she is resilient and she can defend herself, but she shouldn't fucking have to all the time. She shouldn't have to. And I say this on my page, like, there's a difference between disagreement and what they're doing. People pop up on my page, they disagree with me. I say, that's fine. I don't give a fuck though. And then I move on. Now, if they keep pressing the issue, I block them. And that's cool too, because you can disagree with me and I cannot give a fuck. And we both have the right to those things. What you don't have the right to do is continuously shove your opinion down my throat. What you don't have the right to do is continually attack me. What you don't like, it's like they feel like they have to have some sort of power to force whatever they're thinking or feeling onto us, because bringing it to us in our platform will get it seen by more people, because nobody gives a figgity fuck about what they have to say in their nobody ass corner of the fucking internet.
You got 3 followers and 1 reshare in the past month, and you over here? You over here? Okay.
They do it because it's fun to them and they think they don't face any consequences because they're not in the United States.
Yep. You think it's fun, you think it's sweet, and that's not cute. I'm gonna find you.
And that exactly why they were going after me like that. And I saw somebody say like, "Oh, it's the influence and it's the following." It wasn't that.
It's the fact that your mutual aid actually gets motion, right?
Yeah.
Because all of these accounts, they have mutual aid stuff that they're trying to do, but it don't go nowhere. And then they see Keandria over here being successful with all of her campaigns, and they're like, "Oh, she's using her platform in a way that doesn't benefit me. I'm not okay with that. How can we take away her influence and try to flip it onto us?" That's what I think it is. And then when I started, really digging into each of these people, like, okay, y'all say that y'all really pro mutual aid and that's y'all purpose, and you feel some type of way, because if you look at it, like I said, I posted a status about how I didn't do mutual aid before I was even on these people's radar officially, publicly, and they had it screenshotted and archived months ago, and then posted it yesterday to be upset at me about, and so they have been watching us individually in what we do in terms of organization or what we don't do, because that is what they're ultimately mad at. They see a bunch of Black women being visible in a way that they don't fucking control and they don't profit from. And they feel like, it's my opinion, that they want to try to take that away and reclaim it for themselves in all of their sick ass cats, because somehow they all got sick ass fucking cats. I got 4 cats. None of my cats sick.
Her cat's sick too, since she can't make no money on OnlyFans.
like, Mia, like, let me tell y'all something. If y'all got somebody in y'all group that is literally selling pussy and is not making motion, y'all just ain't got the skill set necessary, and that needs to be okay. All right, yeah, this is not the industry for you. None of them, it seems, are the industry for you. Okay, y'all mutual aid gets paid the same amount of attention as the pussy Mia is selling. Okay,
Time out. If she spent half as much time worrying about her poussoir and put as much energy into that as she did being in our business and stalking us, she might have a successful OnlyFans. Hell, dudes be buying it on the corner for $40.
She's marketing herself to people that ain't got no fucking money.
That is so funny to me. Y'all, this group we have, I'm the bully.
Listen,
I bully the bullies. I don't mess with nobody. Don't mess with me. But best believe I'm gonna match energy.
Keandria is just, like, again. And when I see Keandria sometimes and she's responding to y'all, and I think about what I would have said, this lady is not no damn bully. This lady is not no damn bully. And so part of that also is to show you bitches, I'll show you a motherfucking bully. You think Keandria trying to cut off your mutual aid? What the fuck are you gonna do when I get my 202,000 followers to report all y'all fucking Venmos and PayPals? You want to cut? She's interfering with your mutual aid, bitch. You want to know what that looks like for real? For real?
Look, all I'm gonna say,
bothering you.
We using our power for good. You better leave us alone before we use it for evil. Now screenshot that.
I have a therapist, and every week we meet 2 times a week, so I can let him know at the beginning of the week what y'all said on the weekend, and then in the middle of the week what y'all trying me for, so I can get ready for the weekend. And every week he's like, "Hey, Diane." In fact, he gave me permission. He said, "Diane, it looks like a lot of people are coming for y'all. If you feel the need to vent, as long as you're not marinating on it." And this is a key thing. If you are constantly marinating on people and on profiles and on posts, that's not okay. That's not okay. I am a mental health advocate. I got my mental health first aid stuff, but I'm more importantly I'm somebody my mental health is very important. I have BPD. Yep. I advocate for people who have personality disorders and also psychotic disorders. I know my boundary is that I cannot be on an issue for too long. If I find myself thinking about what somebody says the next day, I need to figure out what the main issue is, because the issue is not what they said. The issue is something else. And if I'm sitting, the amount of time that people have been sitting here rotating the same 5 screenshots, and Keandria said this 6 months ago, and that petty auntie said this about me 3 years ago, like, y'all doing too much. And I genuinely don't think that that is healthy behavior. I'm not going to say somebody's unwell, but it is not healthy for y'all to be over here with the same few screenshots, making the same few points over and over and over again every time something goes the way that you don't want it to go. That's not okay. That's not okay. You got to take a break. You need to talk to your therapist. Somebody said,
and they had the nerve to post something I said and say she needs a therapist. They tag BetterHelp, and bitch, I have a therapist.
Yeah, so they called Keandria ableist, but then they want to diagnose her from the comment section of somebody else who doesn't like her. And they're like, I trust that somebody else who got the screenshot from somebody else who's mad and has had a beef with her for the past 7 months, and I'm going to trust their opinion of her, and then I'm going to go and give a diagnosis of a person I've never met before with a personality disorder. They gave a diagnosis of a personality disorder.
License go somewhere, because what the fuck was that?
Can I say something?
Yes,
yeah.
Because since you mentioned that, because we as Black women don't have a lot of space to be just open and vulnerable and sit in our feelings. And I want to say, like, the whole she's ableist, turning it into internet chatter. When I say to my soul, fuck anybody who engaged in that, because I'm a person. And do you have any idea how hard and hurtful it was to go from taking care of a disabled mother to log online to people saying I hated disabled people and I was ableist? That was incredibly hurtful, incredibly stressful. What that did to my mental health was not fair.
Yeah.
And again, you didn't deserve none of that shit.
Out and not thinking that it's attached to a real person. I'm sitting here fighting for my mom's health care. I'm fighting her abuser in court and getting online and seeing people say, well, she's ableist because I don't like the way she said that.
Yeah. And
it was hurtful to me when people tried to say that. Like, I often do not give a fuck about what people got to say about me, because I know that I am not a palatable person, and so bitch, don't eat me. But the thing that I found the most hurtful in all this was when somebody tried to say I was transphobic, because anybody who knows me and has been in community with me knows, first of all, I am queer. And secondly, I love other queer people, but I especially love and stick up for trans people. I have deep community with trans people. I just had the other week, I had Angelica Ross was in my town, and we decided to do dinner together, which was an honor. I walked in, and it just so happened that somebody who I was in community with was already there with Angelica, another trans woman, because that is the community that I share with Black trans women. So for some musty, well, I don't know, I'm not going to call leftist lawyer musty. I do actually think Cheryl does good work. She got this one wrong. She got it wrong. She
did. She got
it wrong. And I did write a really long, insightful, kind of open letter to her about, yeah, you did wrong, but and I did tell my followers at that time, like, I know that she's wrong, but don't attack her. Like, I still believe in the work that she does, and I do believe that she is a good person who made the wrong call. But so I'm not gonna call her musty, but the rest of these bitches, y'all musty. I know y'all are. Get the deodorant with the aluminum. So like that's
like, but and like, speaking of like community real fast, me and Keandria, when y'all were talking about her being ableist and all that kind of stuff, and she got beef with personality disorders, we talked. She hit me up and she said, it like is what I said, is that weird, that type of thing, because we're in community with each other. I didn't have to go make a call out post and say, Andrea, you shouldn't be because that's not what community does. That's not what community does. I've had situations where I said something wild online and Feminista Jones was like, Diane, girl, you need to delete that. You need to delete that. You take it down, because you acting out. With Keandria, there's been times where I'm like, hey, maybe this is coming off this way. And she messaged me and said, hey, is this coming off the wrong way? Was this being ableist? So we have conversations. It's not like I got to go post every single time we have a conversation, make a discovery, That's not what that's going to be. And she talked to me about what she was going through. And I was like, first of all, I'd never thought the thing that she was accused of being ableist was ableist. I just want to say that was a reach. It was a reach and a half. And That's what I'm gonna say. When you're in community with people, you can talk to people and say, hey, I have this concern about what you said. She's come to me with concerns about what I've said. We've had conversations.
Yeah,
Conversations happen.
I've
They don't
learned.
all get posted.
There's things I don't say now because I've learned from you, and I can say that openly. I'm not afraid or ashamed to say the lens that I was viewing a lot of personality disorders through before I talked to you, Diane, was because a lot of the abuse, to be completely honest, I've experienced a lot of trauma. I've experienced a lot of abuse. And I would say the majority of that abuse was tied to a person who had some sort of personality disorder, mental struggle of some sort, whether it was, I have a sibling who has borderline personality disorder. I have a father who has a bipolar disorder, who is a manic bipolar depressive. So the lens I'm viewing this through is when I'm seeing personality disorders, I'm experiencing abuse. And so when I'm saying like, oh gosh, you know what, red flag for me if they got a personality disorder, Diane corrected me on that and said, hey, I understand your stance as a victim, but we have to be careful not to apply that to everybody. And I learned from her because that was my honest experience. And what she did was, and I have to thank you for that since we're having that conversation, because she validated my experience without attacking me. But like you said, that's what happens when you're in community, because she taught me, hey, that was one isolated experience. Everybody's not your daddy. Everybody's not your brother. Everybody's not the person who abused you. And these people don't deserve for you to attach something negative to their struggle because your family member did. And I learned from it. Who knew? You could just talk to people and learn shit.
Somebody in the comments just dropped this, Penny, not Penny. She said that is the difference between community and a mob. And I just want to stop for a second and like, yes, snaps.
Oh, I need a screenshot of us all doing this.
Somebody take a screenshot of us snapping.
Screenshot.
Right here. Because yes, that is it. They are not a community.
They're a mob.
Angry mob. They're an angry mob. They don't want to do the organizing. They don't want to do the sharing. They don't want to do the mutual stuff, right? They want to just come up with pitchforks and burn shit down. And there's a time and a place for that. Because I can also be a destructive bitch, all right? But it's not everything. It's not. Oh, good night, Aja. Miss Barbara is leaving us. It was
Good night.
Good night.
But I have also run afoul of being ableist because of my views of personality disorders. As a person who has one, I'm clinically diagnosed as borderline personality disorder. I will say that my opinion on the topic is a lot more nuanced, just because I do believe a lot of what we know of certain personality disorder is based in like some degree of privilege. Like, for example, when you think of the fact that most CEOs are sociopathic, right? You know, like there's a lot more nuance to the conversation that I feel like the average person isn't able to have. And so when they see my more nuanced opinion on the topic, they automatically jump into attack mode because they don't necessarily understand the point of view that I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Those people, I say, you know what, that's great that you feel that way. But again, am I going to sit here and be attacked because you don't understand me? I'm not.
Shit, that's half the people on Threads. There's so many people that's illiterate on that for it to be a text-based app.
Yeah.
Half the time they can't read. That's what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, like my biggest thing with advocacy with mental health and mental illnesses is that we have to stress that untreated, unmedicated, undertreated, and undermedicated anything can be destructive. It just so happens that if you have a personality disorder and or a psychotic disorder, we are less likely to be able to access that medical care and receive the therapy that we need. So you do meet a lot of people who also there's a lot of people who don't realize that they have an issue. Some people don't realize the issue is there. So for me, I will always advocate that anybody, I've had friends who have, I went to a psych facility, I went to psych treatment. I've met people in the facility, they just had depression, but their depression is ruining their whole life. Depression is like an entry level. People think, oh, depression is chill, but I have a friend who's literally homeless right now. We're trying to help her out, but like you can't help every single person in recovery. And like her life ruined. She doesn't have her kids. She's homeless and all that kind of stuff just because she has depression and it's not being treated in a way that's effective for her. So same thing with personality disorders. If we're not getting, if Diane does not take her Lamictal on time, hey, if I'm not talking to Dr. Will my 2 times a week, hey, which is why everybody, just to plug, should be advocating for ACA subsidies so that Diane can keep her medication and her therapist. Okay, ACA subsidies. Talk to your politicians.
Yeah. So I want to get us back on track because we have veered a little bit from our, prepared agenda. So we have talked about Keandria's experience. Now, Kia, we are going to go to you, and you and how you got pulled into this mess is really what pissed the fuck off. Because when I say Miss Kia be in her corner of the internet, not bothering nobody,
mind her business,
along comes
really
a fighter and sat down beside her, like, what the fuck? Go ahead.
I was pulled in because of a mutual of mine. So
it wasn't me, y'all.
No, she's watching the live. So for people who may not know, in January I started an online community called The Collective. It is an online community to provide resources, to really just be in community with people and to provide resources. Some of those resources were targeted in this administration. And just, to congregate, fellowship. Part of it was mutual aid too, because I truly believe in mutual aid. And I started this organization. I have people in it. I also teach anti-racism classes. I personally don't teach them. I have 2 facilitators that teach them. And to take the anti-racism classes, you have to pay for them because everyone should be compensated for their labor. That is very, very important that people get compensated for their labor.
Y'all are undercharging because $300 for that kind of work, especially considering that it's usually organizations that need it. Y'all not charging enough. But carry on.
I'm aware. I've been told that like a lot. I wanted to make it kind of affordable for people. So last Sunday, I'm at a football game. And I'm sitting in my car after the football game, and Trey Talks, says, we got pulled into something. And I'm like, pulled into what? And there's a screenshot from like Antifa Communications, which I want to say, Antifa Communications, along with Amber_Waves, tried to dox me for some dumb shit that I'm not even going to talk about because that's how flippin' dumb it was. They tried to dox me. Antifa Communications got our Substack. We also have a Substack, and took screenshots, and they were trying to really come after Trey and Keandria because they thought the collective was being funded by Keandria or started by Keandria. I mean,
Keandria is so omnipresent.
Keandria,
it's a scheme set up by Todd.
He's a super villain. Oh my God.
Keandria is the new George Soros, okay?
Her.
Keandria is like the new George Soros. And so I was like, Keandria has nothing to do with the collective. I'm part of the collective. Trey is the secretary in the collective, and that's it. And
a government op right there.
And they were mad that I was charging people money for classes. They were mad that the white woman was in it. When the president and the founder, myself, and the vice president are 2 Black people. It was absolutely ludicrous. And I'm just like, people can't really, everyone on Threads can't be functionally stupid. I just refuse to believe that everyone's functionally stupid. But these people are functionally stupid. because they just kind of ran with it.
Dysfunctionally stupid. Are they functioning? They are all poor with
I
success.
mean, they're functioning enough to type their thumbs and say dumb shit on the internet. They're
They not
functional enough
typing,
for
they
that.
doing talk to text.
Using Chat GPT, you overestimate people. That's Grok
I
Bold
talking
I
to
enough
you,
try
okay?
I try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
No
Um,
benefits. No
no
benefits. We are a
benefits.
part-time job with no benefits right
Aaliyah
And
now.
is
so
here, and she said once again, Bush will pay for his crimes. I want
crimes.
him drawn and quartered.
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, I
Um,
was talking about you earlier in a positive way.
um, and so I was just like, well, I was kind of on their radar in August because when the whole Antifa popped off with Trump and they started making these accounts, I saw some of them pop up in my timeline and noticed that they were very, very anti-black. And so I made a post and I said, you know what? Y'all shouldn't be following these Antifa accounts. They're anti-black. And that's partly what put me on their radar. Now, like I said, I'm very small. I don't even have 5K yet. I'm a very small creator. I stick to my part of
Mind
threads.
your
I've
business.
been
Be
mutuals
minding
with
your
most
business.
all in my business. I was mutual. I started mutuals with Diane because of Candlegate. I was mutuals with Hetty Auntie. I became mutuals with Candria. I was following Uppity. So,
I don't be following nobody. I really don't. I need to do better.
and so I'm just like, okay, I'm just doing my thing. I do post mutual aid from people that I talk to regularly or in community with or engage with on threads. I do post their mutual aid. And so, I told them that. And one of the Antifa accounts, I think it was like the trans Antifa kids or something, I don't remember, decided that they were going to make a joke. They were mad that I told people not to follow them. And so that Antifa account decided to threaten to essay me. And I'm like, I'm an essay survivor and I'm a multiple essay survivor and a CSA survivor. So, and I talk about that very openly on my page. And I'm like,
That's how you know that they're stalking. Because
and
they
that's,
knew the specific thing that would have been hurtful for you. And the only way to do that is to be stalking your post.
and so and I had run ins with some of the people behind the Antifa accounts with the petty auntie because I started blocking all of those people. So a lot of these people I had blocked. And I was like, okay, well, let me just go down this Antifa list and block the rest of these because y'all on fuck shit. And I'm not about being on fuck shit. I'm here to have a good time and to teach people and to make people smile. I'm not here for any of that shit. And that's when it first started. And then the second time was when Antifa Communications decided, oh, we're going to dox me. This is how functionally stupid they were. They doxed the wrong city. And they did the same thing to Trey and doxed the
You
wrong
know how
city
they
for
doxed
Trey.
the wrong city? Because it's my understanding that they thought you lived in Chicago.
No, they thought Trey lived in
Okay.
Chicago.
I was gonna say, if they thought you lived in Chicago, the dumb bitches probably had you mixed up with me.
No, they thought I lived in New York City. I'm trying to live
New
in New
York
York
City? No,
City.
my bad.
I'm trying to live in New York City,
Okay,
but I do not live in New York City. And it was like the dumbest thing. And I'm just like, I actually still talk about where I'm from. I'm still in the DMV area and I talk about it all the time. So how did you like this is how fucking dumb they are. And I'm like, and so, my thing is if you're this fucking stupid, I'm just gonna ignore you because I don't have time for that. Well, the collective got into it and then they started taking screenshots. I'm still at this point in time still am not being attacked mainly because all the main people that are attacking are blocked from my end. So I don't get it the way Keandria and Uppity get it, because y'all blocked. I got 4.5K people. I don't want to be bothered. I'm gonna curse you out and block you, or I'm just gonna block you because I don't have time. These people are still taking screenshots of shit I say and posting it for their 5 likes. And I'm like, y'all got nothing better to do with your
And
time?
They don't.
They
you know
are
what I don't
all
understand about
unemployed
that?
with their sick cats.
But I don't understand is that we saying it publicly on a public platform where everybody can see it. So why do you think screenshots are a weapon? Bitch, give me a mic. I'll say it again right now.
That pussy.
And said what I said. And who gonna
And
whoop? And again, it all
Quote
comes back to
post
the
Right.
me.
question I
Quote
ask
post
myself
me.
every day when I woke up. When I wake up, who's gonna whip my ass?
their pussy
Nobody.
front us.
You can quote post me so I can block you directly.
Yeah, they
All
go
right.
their
So
own.
now that we've all kind of gone into our experiences of how we encountered these people, we're gonna go into the next part of this, which is how we figured out that these hoes was scamming. Okay.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I think that I'll kick this off because I noticed a pattern, me being autistic with, advanced pattern recognition. I noticed certain patterns in the things that they would say about us. And it just really helped me connect some ideas. And I was like, one, they're mad about who doesn't engage in mutual aid. Why? And they're upset about who does, in the fact that they don't get to benefit from it. Right? That was a pattern across all of these
Mhm.
quote unquote Antifa accounts. Two, they are upset that we are large accounts. Three, they only hone in on the Black women of the app. And so bringing all of those ideas together, and then of course they have assigned themselves the Palestine police, and part of that I think is because that makes it in their brain, all Black women of course unanimously support uncritically Kamala Harris, and so that makes us all Zionists. That gives them license to attack us. That is, different than all other groups because we are the demographic of people who voted for Kamala, the most. And so the connection of all those things, I was like, okay, this is clearly a concerted effort by all of these people. And also, clearly, some of these people are people that we've pissed off before. Even though Political Persian was not mentioning us at this time, I knew the bitch was wrapped up somewhere in it because the things that they were saying were too reminiscent of, the earlier attacks that I had received. So I sincerely believe that she was one of the Antifa accounts. We obviously don't know which, but she had to have been at least one of them. And then somebody asked us, are we sure that the people we listed as the Antifa HQ account are actually them? They all need to get blocked. We are absolutely sure that Kami Mommy was Antifa HQ. We are absolutely sure of that. And she has admitted as much. And I would like to thank her for the fact that we know that as an absolute certainty, because somehow her account got blocked and banned at the beginning of this week. And when it got banned, she went on a 16 thread rant about how much she couldn't stand me and Keandria and how it was our fault. But she also tried to claim that she had never interacted with us before. How are those two things true?
False.
And then from that, somebody noticed that Mommy's account was gone. And so we were able to say, like, this is most likely Kami Mommy. Okay, who is Kami Mommy? Somebody found her actual identity. Okay, we know that this is Kami Mommy. We know that her account got shut down for fraud. I didn't accuse the bitch of fraud, and neither did Keandria. Who accused her of fraud and why? And this is where we get to Diane.
That was like, I did it. Diane's like, I did it.
Y'all did that right there.
I did it in the kitchen with the knife.
It was me. It was me. But the thing is, it actually wasn't me. Keandria was talking to me, and also Ben Forsek, shout out to him. He had done some digging, and Keandria was like, "Hey, look, here's some information about one of the accounts that I think is Antifa Communications or something like that." we were getting a lot of information sent to us from different people about what was going on in these different Antifa accounts, because just so y'all know, just like Kia B,
Kia.
yeah, she said, these people have been doing this for months. Since they started out, people have been calling out the fact that these are likely people who are racist and bigoted. And as soon as they started posting, people were like, oh my God, yes, these are racist and bigoted people. They are definitely anti-Black and they are shielding themselves. So I looked in, there was one person whose name popped up and their name was Amal. And as soon as I saw Amal, I was like, that name's a little familiar. I recognize this name. Put it in to my handy dandy. Everybody, Google is free. Google is free. Put it into my handy. This is also how I did Candlegate. Google is free. It is free. Put it into handy dandy Google. The first thing that pops up is a post that says "Fed Up for Palestine" is a fraud. They are scamming people. They are raising funds, and they have run off with $30,000. The person who runs Fed Up for Palestine is Amal. I forgot that girl's last name, but there's a lot of information that she is Israeli and that she was fundraising for Palestine to take the money herself. People have pictures of her ID card, her Israeli ID card. So she was in among the reason I recognize Fed Up for Palestine is because she be in the comments under Political Persians posts. And she's under Mia's posts, and she's like, yeah, oh my God, you got to get them. Yeah, they're scamming. They're stealing money. Yeah, they're taking all the mutual aid. Right there, up and amongst for every single, since August, she has been in the comment sections like, yeah, they don't know anything about Palestine. Yeah, they're stealing all the mutual aid. Yeah, this, hyping everybody up. And Mia.
Say that one more time, Diane, so it's clear. This need to be a clip.
She be in the comments ever since August.
Of who? Who be in who
Political
comments?
Persian and Mia's saying they're stealing money, they're scamming, and it's giving projection. It's giving projection because the whole time she's stealing money. Not only is she stealing money to the tune of $30,000, I'm gonna leak Muhammad's like his mutual aid because he's the person who needs it. But stealing $30,000 from him. And then she's sending death threats to somebody who is in Gaza. The person is in Gaza, and she's putting a hit out on somebody in Gaza. And that is the people are reaching out for me from the organization who have also been hurt. This is kind of like Candlegate, where like Camp Call Out did one thing that was bad, but they also did like 50 other things. So I will be posting more about the situation with that group. This is not the time and place for it, but that's how we find out they're defrauding people. But also, even before that, you're going to the Antifa accounts. Number one, they're not posting mutual aid very often. They're not.
Unless it's for themselves or their
exactly. Friends. It is for themselves.
Me off too, because they kept saying y'all are anti-Palestine, y'all are taking money from Palestine,
and it's a personal thing.
But when we go to your profiles, you are talking about, again, your musty white friend with the sick cat. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
That's all I'm saying.
And so, like, originally, we thought that they were attacking us because it would get them attention for their musty white friends and their cats. And then we came across this.
So it's really a funnel. It is a funnel. And the thing is, people accuse us of being in a group chat. We just got in a group chat to arrange this live. This is the first group chat we've ever been in. And the fact that I know that y'all are in Discord chats, y'all have commented and said, oh, I know a Discord you guys can go through, all that kind of stuff. You guys are sitting here creating all this stuff and keeping these things hyped up.
In public, FYI, in public, we have DMs on Threads now, and you dumb bitches are doing it in the comments section of your threads, like dumb motherfucking people.
Why do I know about your Discord?
No. I mean, they're dumb for other reasons, but that right there is because they think I'm not in this country. I'm not going to face consequences. They think they are not going to face consequences.
And that's cute.
And I mean, that's dumb in and of itself, but yeah, that ain't why they not doing it.
Yeah.
Even with the situation with Keandria actually getting like a genuine hit put out on her, that person did not think I was going to find them in the 5 seconds it took me to find them. Like
you're not anonymous on the internet.
Let's stop, because you ain't gonna speed past that. What the fuck?
Right.
Oh, okay. So um at one point during this whole political Persian, Mia, all that kind of stuff, there was a account called Blood for Poppies. And this person has been in the
Mm-hmm.
comment section of everybody's stuff. Yeah. So they were commenting recklessly all over the place. And then they shared a post by somebody, and this becomes a whole thing with political Persian, where political Persian is like, oh, Keandria is saying that she's trying to sue a teenager. Apparently, some teenager wrote something. Blood for Poppies reposts it, quote posts it, and says, I'll pay $8,000 for somebody to break Keandria's nose. Then they don't stop there. If it was just that and they were just doing words, I would be like, you're weird as fuck. Hey, Kendra, block them. That's weird. But they go on immediately after that. Every single post that says Kendria, they start spamming an AI generated poster all over the place in every single person's comment section. They're just spamming it over and over and over again. That to me says intent. We go from you having one thing to now you have intent, and now you're putting energy into this. Now I need to go figure out who you are. Now I got to figure out what's going on. What's going on, K-Van?
So,
Like what's happening?
I just want to stop and say that I went and I Googled Blood for Poppies and the word threat just to see if I could find the image, because I remember this. And I wanted to try to put it up on the screen to show people. And if you just put in those two words, it comes up about how she threatened Keandria, and about how her name is Dolly Odell and she's from Dover, New Hampshire. And so I'm gonna try to put the image that she created up on the screen.
New Hampshire, that girl can't bust a grape.
Jesus Lord.
We found preliminary information. I found preliminary information that somebody took that and then they went and they found the additional stuff. My biggest thing is
on Dolly Odell. I could tell y'all that now because the authorities have already moved forward with that. Dolly's goose is cooked. But
yeah.
I don't know how they found her because it was really fascinating, right? And it's a lesson not to be that fucking stupid on social media. So how they found Dolly Odell was the Blood for Poppies account. One of my followers, scrolled way back in her videos on TikTok, and they watched a video of her talking. In the background on a desk was a piece of mail. They blew up that piece of mail. That bitch is W2. I swear to God. Whole name, whole address. In a TikTok video, they blew it up and sent it to the authorities. I didn't even do that myself.
And see, and this is how you guys need to think about this. With Blood for Poppies, the reason that they found the TikTok, because the TikTok was not linked to them, was I Googled them. I found some other pages. They have like 3 pages linked, that kind of.
It wasn't Blood for Poppies. Was the TikTok Blood for Poppies?
No. I found like 5 different TikToks.
Yeah.
And I linked all of the different TikToks and said, hey, they have multiple different TikToks. They got a YouTube channel. They got all this stuff. Here's all the info. And I said, don't fucking play like that on the internet. Don't do that. And then that person, because they contacted me and they said, hey, I use some of your stuff to da-da-da-da. I'm like, go on. I'm not OPSEC. I'm not about to go, and I'm not digging that deep. I found out who they were to scare them. If you're gonna go forward and help Keandria with these legal actions, take whatever you need from whatever I found. And they took that, they went and they got the information. And that's how it works. People don't realize how like the links will link. And I'm not going to get into how I be finding people, but it is very easy to find a lot of you guys. And a lot of you guys talk way too reckless. Y'all talk way too reckless for me to be able to find your grandkids and your mom and your uncle and your workplace in 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Y'all not even trying.
I think there are people who have a misconception of this, and I want to clarify this too. It's not just me, but in general, there are people who have a misconception. They're like, oh, Keandria is a cop. All cops are bastards, blah, 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 blah. I am an activist and I'm a member of the NAACP. When that happened, I didn't call the authorities. The president of the NAACP has a direct link to the authorities, and that's who started that whole thing. Because I saw a lot of people circulate like Keandria said she was gonna call the FBI. Bitch, do I look like I'm just on the phone with the FBI? No, but I work with the NAACP, and I said that to say this. There are a lot of people who think Black women are underprotected, and they are they're sadly fucking mistaken. Because if you think there are people who are not stepping behind us, they are. There are people who are silent and they're supporting us, and there are people who will see the shit that's happening and they will report it every time. And I want to be intentional about saying that there are people who will protect Black women. And this whole shit happened because a group of people assumed that nobody would protect Black women. So when it came to contacting the authorities, the FBI, reporting all of that stuff, I didn't do that. The people who see the work I'm doing and they see my value, they knew they needed to protect me and they acted. I didn't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I told y'all this a lot when we were planning in the group chat. Like, that's my Facebook community, all right? Because I keep telling y'all, like, Threads is cute. Facebook is where my people are. And for example, you know, there have been times where people have come at me on my Facebook crazy, and I have watched my followers ruin their life. And so I specifically do not mobilize my followers unless I feel like the threat is super duper legitimate. Like,
Yeah.
that Carl guy who called my baby stillborn,
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't feel confident that Mambo was gonna fuck him up already, and I took that to my Facebook community, he would be having an even worse time than he's having right now, because people don't understand that the reason that we have the platforms that we have is because we do have legitimate community. We
Yep.
do have legitimate people who care about us, real fucking people. There are
Yeah.
people who are in my followers that have been my followers, and like at this point I can consider friends, like that have been my friends for nearly a decade. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They know me, I know them. We have community, real community, where we give and take from each other, and it's not just a one-way street. I have, you know, people that we have people. And just because, like, y'all like to say that we get people to hop on y'all, I promise you don't fucking know what that looks like.
Absolutely.
Really,
Exactly.
you really
Absolutely.
don't.
And like,
Absolutely.
whenever people send me a threat, like when I've had people send me physical threats on Threads before, and then I look at my jar opener and he got a fucking AR-15 by the door. You,
Same, sis, same.
I when I say I wake up asking myself who go whip my ass, and the answer is nobody. I don't get that kind of boldness from nowhere.
And that's T.
It
I
is.
don't get that kind of boldness from nowhere. I am very loved. I am very protected. I have been intentional about building a community that don't fucking play about me. And they know if I bring something to them, then I have done the work to make sure that that person deserves it. They know I don't shoot first and I defend myself. And they know if I'm bringing something to them, then it's time to act.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Really.
do not actually mobilize my community that often at all, unless I'm ready to burn all your shit down. And so when I say to these Antifa people, after I have my baby and after I'm settled into a nice, safe routine and, you know, everything is good and Gucci and great, I'm fucking destroying you bitches. Every single one. I'm gonna find every single one of you and individually ruin your fucking life for the fact that you tried me when I was in the middle of a high risk pregnancy. It's happening. It's
And I'm
happening.
just gonna sit by and watch
Me
It's
And
too. I'm
happening.
gonna have
also,
my popcorn.
also,
gleefully.
like the big thing is I need to emphasize this. People have called me like a lapdog and like that I do research for everybody because da 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 da. I don't know because I want some clout. I don't know. I don't know. The issue is that number one, if you send a credible threat to somebody that I know and you're about to pay somebody to do something to somebody that I know, you weird as fuck. That's just it. If you weird as fuck and you think that you can hide behind 50 this person, sorry, my cat's like right here. If you think you can hide behind the fact
Is
that you
this
don't
cat
have your
sick?
real name, no, she is not. She is very healthy. She's very healthy and she has a lot to say, I guess.
It's just so interesting to me how all these white leftist cats are sick, but all these black
She
leftists,
What are they doing?
all these black progressive cats are healthy and thriving and living their best lives.
I don't know. It must be the school I sent her to. I don't know. She got a good school. She got good insurance. I don't know. I don't know. But she's also very active on social media. She has her own little following. She actually was in the newspaper because that's how much I love my cat. Um,
Oh,
but the big thing is that I don't look up stuff for a person. I never look up stuff for a person. Don't nobody commission me for anything. Nobody is paying Diane directly to to do anything. Number one, my issue is misinformation. I hate when people say shit that's not correct, and disinformation. I hate when you are intentionally leaving context out. That is my biggest pet peeve. Maybe it's because of my mom.
Is also a pet peeve for my super autistic ass.
Maybe it's the
also
trauma.
want to cut in right here and say, like I was saying earlier, everybody has a different role in the resistance. Your role is archivist and researcher, and that is super important work too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I genuinely, that is something that I've even said on my TikTok, is like, the information is not there and it's not consolidated all the time. My job that I feel like I do is to consolidate everything and give everybody the timeline. I didn't sit there and look up blood for poppies because Keandria told me to. Keandria wasn't even awake. She wasn't even awake. I actually was online telling people, like, do not say Keandria's name because it's going to pop up on her feed tomorrow, and I want to be able to message her and let her know what happened online. She wasn't even up. But what you're not going to do, if it had happened to anybody in the community, and I saw that, I would have done the same exact thing. Because it's not okay for you to sit there and hide behind your screen name and whatever the fuck you got going on, and sit there and put out a credible threat to somebody, and then make posters. AI generate posters. That's another level of intention that's uncomfortable. That's not okay. All because you saw one comment. She doesn't even know her.
I always wonder. Like, none of you bitches feel weird. None of you bitches feel weird. Like, you went and you had to have downloaded a picture of Keandria. You had to have downloaded a picture, took it, plug it into the picture machine, and said, I would like a picture of this person with a bloody nose. And then you took that picture, you downloaded it, you took it to a whole different platform, you uploaded it, and you typed
multiple times,
offering money. And at no point in none of that did you think, I'm a weird bitch for this.
Yeah. That shit crazy.
Exactly.
Hey, you know what? This is another time to take some space for Black women to be human, because I am somebody who lives with PTSD after losing my husband in a horrific car crash. So that I have never said this. I think I told you, Diane. Y'all, when I tell y'all I didn't cry in Diane's inbox, I'm not even fucking kidding. I've cried in her inbox with some of the shit I've dealt with online. But I logged in and saw that shit, and it triggered my PTSD to the point where I was vomiting. And I'm pretty sure I told you about that, Diane.
I'm so sorry.
Because I lost my husband, and this was the love of my life. And there are certain things that the human brain is not wired to see certain things. But when you see somebody in a gruesome car crash, the way his body was, the way his not remains because he was alive, but the way his body was, mangled and traumatized. Human brain is not meant to see the love of their life that way. And it breaks something. And so for me, any sort of violence, like triggers a physical illness. People don't stop to think about that. Like, oh, but Keandria, so did I deserve to log in and see myself depicting blood on my face?
Yeah. And that.
And just so you know, Keandria, you are breaking up right now. I'm not sure if it's your you might need to refresh, but
I did hear most of it, but that was like because, and this is the thing, I protect Black women. This is a Black women first platform. Right. And because I saw that and I knew she was asleep, because obviously she's not posting, I was like, in everybody's comments, like, you need to take this down. You need to take this down. You need to censor her name, because every time you say her name, it pops up for her. So please, you didn't tag her. Somebody did tag her and they blocked me because I said, don't tag her. And I'm like, are you good? Why do you want her to see this? That doesn't even make any sense. And I went through and I told everybody, I'm like, you guys need to take this down. You need to take it down or untag her. Take her down. Don't put her name in there. Hey, I censored her name for a reason, because nobody should. I'm up at 3 a.m. I'm up at 3 a.m. with the weirdos, but nobody should have to wake up and log on and see something violent about themselves. That's not okay. That's not okay. Again, it's not even Keandria specific. It is not okay for anybody. And it just so happens that Keandria is also somebody who I consider a friend, that Yeah, no, I'm gonna pop up on you. I'm gonna pop up on you and I'm gonna blow your spot up, and that's why everybody knows who you are now. That's it. You shouldn't have said that shit. You shouldn't be talking slick. That's period.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. And my whole thing is that none of their responses are rational responses to anything that we say or do. None of them. I said, no, I don't want to do mutual aid for you. And your response was, well, you must hate all mutual aid ever. That's not a rational response.
No.
I say, this bitch has a pointy chin. You say, you're a transphobic racist who hates Palestinians and wants them to be exterminated. Keandria says, this bitch looks like a bug. And you say, here's your bloody nose, and I'll pay somebody else $8,000 to make it a reality. None of those are rational responses. None of those are moral or ethically superior responses. Like, and so I just really question in these bitches' brain, how do they feel like they are the morally superior side?
I just think they think they're morally superior because we're Black.
That's it. That's
yes,
it.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
They just
Well,
think
no,
they're
hold on.
morally superior because we're Black.
And women, Black women.
And we're Black, we're Negro women. And so
Mhm.
by virtue of being Negro women, even though I've been called white by like 3 of those bitches already.
Me too.
And I'm like, white where? But okay.
And I just like to point out that like none of us went seeking these bitches out.
None. No.
I was
Like,
minding my business.
we were all in our little Black woman corner of the internet because all of us have audiences that specifically are centered towards Black women or Black people. All of us. And, you know, maybe Petty Auntie, you know, with her military stuff, there might be a lot more whiteness to that. But most of us have pretty Black centered platforms. And so how do you mosey yo not Black ass into my Black ass neighborhood and then tell us how we should be running shit?
I want to say something about that because a lot of people who followed me from Candlegate were not Black. I got a lot of y'all to follow me, and that was good because I needed people to be like, "Hey, Diane, you extended too much labor on this," and that was good for me to have a community.
Can we have a moment of transparency about that? Because when I saw you doing all that labor for camp called out, I rolled my eyes real hard because I pattern recognition. I'm like, first of all, that bitch is a lying ass bitch, and they gonna go back to doing the same shit. I'm saying they because I don't know what their pronouns are right now. If you happen to know them, you can correct me.
I don't know.
Yeah. So one, they're not going to learn anything from this. It is all performative, and they are just using up your labor. Two, I know you have good intentions, but we should not be out here trying to save these white people from themselves. And I know that Mercedes claimed that they are not white, but baby, if it looks like whiteness and it acts like whiteness,
I was kind of thrown back by that too.
She's whiter than me, so
they're part Asian. Like,
I you for a little bit, and I was like, you know,
let me
because I knew the history from TikTok though, Diane. Like that shit with that call out. She been problematic for years on TikTok. So when I seen you, I'm like uppity. I'm like, ooh.
I never knew this person until the day they said, like, it seemed like it was a challenge. They were like, that nobody will educate me on this. I was like, okay, if you want to do a Zoom, then I guess it's not that hard until it became anti-racism 101, in which case I should have done what the collective does and charged $300. Because for people saying that is not free, that you should be doing that for free, you shouldn't be charging. If you guys can go look at the Zoom call that I did with Camp Call Out, 3.5 hours.
Oh, girl.
$3.99. Me trying to figure out like what is going on. Anyways, a lot of people joined and they were not Black people and they followed me from Candlegate. Fine, love that for you. You gonna learn about racism and I'm gonna call you racist a bunch of times, whatever. A lot of people got mad at me because I became like, it's like when Beyonce went from doing Single Ladies to doing Lemonade and everybody was like, whoa, 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 I didn't know she was Black. And it's like, And I was like, wait a second. I've always been Black. I've always been talking about this. What's going on now? Just because, and I had to make that distinction on my platform that just because my platform focuses on dispelling misinformation and just because I talk a lot about Texas and all that kind of stuff does not mean that it is for the benefit of non-Black people. You guys get to like the side effect of it, but I'm dispelling misinformation because the Black community is the #1 victim of mis and disinformation. I want us to know what's going on. I want us to know what's really real and really true. So you guys get the side effects of me trying to talk to my people. And a lot of people, when I started sticking up for Keandria and that petty auntie and everybody uppity, everybody, they were like, well, Diane, can't you see that? Diane, why are you people? I have a whole post where people were messaging me like, Diane, did you see this post by somebody? I'm like, what y'all want me to do? Go beat her ass? Like, I don't know her. Like, what? You want me to go fight Feminista Jones? Are you good? Are you kidding me? First of all,
you met her? Why do you think I'm equipped to do that?
I'm not going to fight her. Also, the person who asked me to do that misread the message. They misread the whole post.
I saw you post that, and I saw that, and I was like, not like the Chris Brown thing, right? Where Feminista was saying, basically, I don't know why they're advertising about me to Chris Brown, and they tried to send it to you and say, look, she's supporting Chris Brown. No, bitch, you can't read, and you want me to attack her. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'll keep an eye out. But I was like, her name is Feminista Jones. Why would she ever be pro Chris? That didn't even make any logical sense. That you a fake fan.
Did anybody see the documentary she was in about Chris
Literally.
Jones? Like,
she's literally being sued by Chris Brown.
She's being sued by Chris Brown.
How violent he is. And this is why I coined the term digital HOA, right? And the digital HOA is a term that I came up with to describe this particular white behavior. Because in that situation, the Black people, and especially the Black women who follow Dr. Taylor, would know, 1, she's not supporting Chris Brown, 2, the reason why, and 3, that she phrased it like that in a particular kind of way that is relevant to our culture. But you, white woman, just strolled over to the hood from your gated community, and you think that we're subject to the same fucking bylaws and that you're the person to enforce them.
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not about to go make a call out post for something that you don't understand. That doesn't even make any sense. That's ridiculous.
Why you don't make the call out post?
Exactly.
That be pissing me off. You want me to put my name on it.
Trying to make you their attack out, just like my good sis Marie, who is one of those followers who has been down with me from the beginning, that I have real saying that, trying to make you their attack dog. And
exactly.
And again, that is just another way that they feel entitled to our labor.
Exactly.
And as far as I know, you did eventually fall out with that white lady because she kept coming to you for that. You kept telling her no, and she got mad that she couldn't extract that particular kind of labor to you.
Yeah, she messaged me and I was like, oh, okay, that's weird, bye. And then she just kept sending me stuff. Same thing with Jenny Plum. She just started messaging me stuff and I'm like, okay, like, I guess this person, Tiffer Monster, she's on the Antifa stuff all the time, talking about we're stealing mutual aid. And she's mad at me because I said, hey, you would be in Black spaces and Black business way too much. You got a Black boyfriend. You need to stay out of Black business. You was not Black. And
I hate the bitches who think that they're Negro by insertion. That's not how it works.
Yeah. And they're over there in my inbox, in my comments. Diane, I didn't know you were like this. Diane, I'm disappointed in you. And I'm like, I don't care if you're disappointed with me. I didn't know
making
you
expectations on strangers.
Yeah, first of all, I didn't know you before this year. I didn't know you before April. I didn't know you before June. You being disappointed in me is not. And also, I just want to say, Aaliyah posted something about somebody making a video of her getting her hair snatched out and stuff like that. And I just want to highlight that y'all think that violence against Black women is okay. Y'all think that shit is okay. And I will be the first person to let you know that no. And also, definitely not. And that's why I react the way that I do in my community. But this is a Black woman first platform. My page is for Black people. My page is more specifically for Black women and Black queer people, non-binary people. That's who it's for. And just because you followed me from Candlegate, just because the reason I was in Candlegate was because that man was attacking Black women and saying all the Black women who posted about him were homophobic. And me as a homer,
That's right.
I was like, how did I become phobic? When did that happen? And then I was like, this man is sitting here and sending his people. He's actively sending his following to us in our posts and all that kind of stuff to say that we're homophobic. Sorry.
It wasn't a whole sex offender.
Yeah. And I'm like, I literally was like, who is this man who is this person who is being so hateful? And then I found out he's got some issues.
I want to talk about this comment that Marie just put up here where she said, you fell off their pedestal and how dare you not be their magical negress. And this is why I post all the time reminding you people that I am not your mammy. I am not here to coddle you and love on you and tell you how smart and kind and important you are. All right. You're not smart. You're not kind. You're not important. I'm not your fucking mammy. And I'm not your magical negress. I'm not here to fix you and all the things that are wrong with you. We're not going to go on a special adventure together and you're not going to emerge as a changed person. It's just not going to happen. This
is not a Disney special.
I'm here to mind my Black owned business. Now, I do have resources that can help you unpack that if you want to do the work yourself. But as far as me holding your hand gently in the comments for free, for free. I feel like
money.
Screenshot moments. Somebody screenshot all our faces right now. For free. It's a no. Because even though I love the idea of me being able to change every single person in the world's mind, I feel like some level of that is hubris. I am a singular Black woman, and while I am smart and talented and all of that, I cannot be all things to all people, and it would be silly of me to believe that I can be.
Yeah, and it's not fair.
I have limits as a human, and I don't think it should be my job to change every single person. Now, people will often tell you that I do change their mind on things, but it's never because I, gently held their hand and coddled them and swaddled them and, rocked them Betty by. It's because they wanted to learn and do better.
Yeah.
And what I've learned over all of the years that I've been a content creator, and my content has always been on kind of the same subjects of like me navigating the world as a Black, queer, disabled woman and what that means for, how I interact with the world around me. What I've learned is that, and people have actually come to me and been like, Kiki, like when I first came across your content, it would make me feel so triggered and it would make me feel so defensive and it would make me want to fight you. And I'd be like, all right, now to beat your ass. And then they'll be like, but you know what? Over the years, as I've learned, as I've grown, as I've invested in myself, I realized that like you were right. And there have been so many opinions that I've had over the years that would have gotten me ired and like triggered people and made them fight with me. But then eventually motherfuckers come around and realize that what I was thinking was right. Like if we want to progress society, we do not have to be kind, gentle people. We just have to say the truth, because the truth is the truth, whether you say it nicely or whether you say it, with a fuck between.
Right.
And let me say this. Camp call out. If you go on that video, and I have actually put this in like another video, but if you see that they're like, oh my gosh, Diane, thank you so much for taking time out. This has been the kindest conversation. Oh my gosh. Da, da, da. And then what they do? Okay, they still on the same thing.
Right.
They did exactly the opposite immediately. If you are trying to be like, oh, I want to learn more about it, there's a whole 3-hour video that you can watch on my YouTube where I get paid. You can watch that. And in that video, I say, look, you did something wrong. And if somebody comes at you, if somebody comes at you nicely when you did something wrong, that is of benefit to you. But if they want to hit you in the face because you did something wrong, they are also valid. So the message, just because I'm nice and because number one, I was sitting there I'm neurodivergent and sometimes it takes me a while to process stuff. So people just think that I'm being nice, but I'm really just kind of like, okay, I guess I'm just neutral. I just have a neutral reaction and I'm just trying to figure out where this is going and what's going on. They're actually in the video, you can see me looking confused a lot because I don't know what's going on. So people mistake that for me being nice. I'm confused. We're all confused.
But that's how they project, right? Because there'll be a lot of times, because I am not a super emotional person, first of all. So a lot of times people be in my comments and they're like, "Oh my God, you're so angry," and I'm like, "Bitch, I literally don't give a fuck. The fuck are you talking about? I'm not angry. I'm direct. I'm direct because I'm Black and autistic, and those are both very direct. You know, the neurodiversity makes me direct, but also Black culture is pretty direct. We just say the thing. You know, White culture is passive aggressive, not Black culture.
And me, I'm just trying to figure things out while we're talking and trying to process what's going on and figure out what the next move is. For me, because I have a personality disorder, sometimes I do try to check myself a little bit more about my reactions. And that just makes people think, because the reaction is slow, people think like, oh, she's chill. And that's not it. So yeah, that's just a side comment on most of my following was white. Not most of them, a lot of them were white, and they got very confused about why I was suddenly supporting all these Black women when I'm like, I have been following most of these Black women for years. So,
yeah. So the thing is, they thought that you were going to be their pet nigga.
Yes.
But all right, that was all great conversation. I want to shift back to the scam itself. So going back to the conversation, we discovered Kami Mommy's link to Fed for Palestine. We discovered that Fed for Palestine was stealing from the campaigns. We discovered that Amal, who is the owner of Palestine, is linked to Political Persian and also to Kami Mommy. We discovered that they have also run harassment campaigns on the people who have reported them for their fraud, to the point that those victims have open restraining orders against them. And at that point, I spent all day gloating because I'm like, I've been telling y'all bitches that they are the ones harming mutual aid to Palestine and they don't give a fuck about Palestine. I've been telling you bitches that this is all a cover for something and I don't know what. And I have been telling you bitches that it's some white nonsense.
You said money. I will give you that when you said it maybe a week or two before it broke. You said it's about the money and you said it just like that. I don't know what, but it's about money. There's money somewhere. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, you said we got to follow the money.
Yeah.
And we did. And it landed us to Fed Up for Palestine, to Kami Mommy, who was Antifa HQ, or at least one of the people behind Antifa HQ. I do believe that they create, general stalking profiles that anybody can use.
Yeah.
But for certain, Kami Mommy was linked to Antifa HQ.
Yeah.
And so now we know these things for certain. And I go on a gloating campaign across threads because I'm like, told you, bitch. I told you, bitch. I told you, bitch. I told you, bitch. And now we are seeing the response from these pages where some of it is denial. A lot of it is denial. And then some of it is there's been a lot of them who have been rebranding their pages from Antifa, derpity derp derp, what the fuck. And so I do feel like there's probably two sides of people who were definitely aware and did not care because they were benefiting in some way, whether that was from the sense of community that they created being an angry mob, and then there are people that legitimately didn't know and they thought that they were supporting a good cause. And I don't have empathy for either side, just so you know. It's fuck all of you, and I'm still coming. It's fuck all of you because you were all okay at the end of the day with these people lying on us. You were all okay at the end of the day with these people attacking us. You were all okay at the end of the day with these people threatening us. And so I would like to
Yeah.
know, in terms of your individualized experiences, what has what have you been experiencing since we released this information? And there's receipts for all of it, so it's not like, it's even questionable. Um, and I want to start. It looks like Michelle has her hand up, so I'll start with her. We can't hear you,
Hear
sis.
you.
My bad. I was threatened with being publicly raped and executed. And yeah, apparently I have Jews on my side and a bunch of dead Palestinians. That was directly in relation to the death threat. I'm going to fucking kill you. Uh shit that I was getting. And it's on my page. So feel free to go look. The screenshots are there. And so is the picture of that man that thought he was gonna say that to me. Do I know if he is directly related to them? No, I cannot definitively say that. However, I had never interacted with this man, period. His first comment to me was that I need to be raped and publicly executed. Very first
Mhm.
comment.
Always rape.
And then to bring up dead Palestinians and Jews, and we've had zero interaction. Yeah, that's gonna lend me to
It's giving
believe.
connected. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's giving connected to me. And I'm so sorry that somebody did
Yeah.
that to you. Like, because I did see the thread, and first of all, it was not at all related to any of the drama, and it was not at all related to Israel or Palestine at all. And so for them
exactly.
to hop out of left field just as they saw you, had some kind of idea of what was going on, and decided to use that as their opportunity. And so I do just want to hold space for the fact that that is really fucked up. And if that person finds
If
themselves
that
taking
person
a
ever
long
comes here, that person won't leave here.
Okay.
period,
Period.
and the petty uncle said that's that on that. All right.
The petty uncle said, "Try me."
the petty uncle said, we homie don't play that. So don't play with the petty auntie. And yeah, so I was one fucked up, period. um I personally, my experience, so once I realized what this was really about and that it was money, I did publicly say on my page, these are scammers. I can tell that they are scammers and they're not actually doing anything for Palestine, because they don't say anything about Palestine actually on their pages. It's all harassing Black women, taking our names, using our names to boost themselves, and then asking for money for musty white leftists and their sick cats. So what I am going to do is I'm going to individually report all of their begging asses and their payment. The any post that I saw where a harassment of a Black woman was happening and a ask for some fucking money was happening, and I will report their Cash App. Sure did. Report their Venmo. Sure did. Report their GoFundMe. Sure did. Yep. Because why is harassment of a Black woman, especially with a lie or misinformation or a skewed screenshot, why do you think that that is an okay place for you to ask for money?
Hmm.
Right.
Why is this what you build your community around? And then how do you then say to me, a Black woman, that this is for Palestine? Where are the Palestinians in the room with you? They're not. And so, of course, they took that and tried to make it seem like I said all mutual aid askers ever are scammers. And that took off to this whole thing where, like, for days people were
Yep.
blaming any
Hold on.
odd whatever that they
Hold,
got.
hold on. She ain't get no uninvolved Black families shit reported. Whoever the hell D is in the comment, that ain't got shit to do with what we got going on over here. The
Oh,
way y'all
you know
feel
what?
like
I
we
missed that.
super
I
villains.
missed that. I missed that. But you know what? Let's pull it up to the stage and let's talk about it. All right. Who are they?
Because
We're families.
last time I checked, we were helping a Black mother
We
upstairs
raised
get an
we
apartment.
raised $1,500 for a
Almost
Black mother today.
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 Also,
$1,500 like
In
that.
less than
also,
24 hours.
$1,000.
also the thing is that she's very specifically said, If you were on the Antifa account and you were talking negatively and being anti-black to a bunch of black women, and then she went and she saw that you were doing something musty white leftist behavior,
Bullshit.
I
report.
specified specific accounts.
Yeah, report it.
And
So
so
it was. There's no black family, that anonymous black family that suddenly got reported. Now, what you need to be aware of is the fact that in response to us saying, "Hey, these people need to be reported," Antifa accounts started reporting other black people. This is a thing. Also, right now on Threads and wherever, they are flagging mutual aid campaigns. So there's a whole technique to this. But do not think that it is us or Kiki or anybody over here saying that you guys need to report every single campaign that you see. Da, 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 da. No, there's discernment. We're not talking about black women. If we see a black family, we're not going to sit there and report it. But also,
but
Antifa in response
even
is
before
reporting your
this,
shit.
they were reporting legitimate campaigns that Keandria was boosting because they didn't like Keandria being successful in her campaigns and wanted her to fail. So if anybody has attacked innocent black families, you musty ass bitch, it was them.
No,
and I
I
bet
was
you
ready
only
for the
said that
curse
because
out.
you musty too.
I need to
Bitch.
say it wasn't just black families. I have a friend in Gaza who I've been sponsoring for months, and I have posted the screenshots on my page. I could not post her fundraiser because they were reporting her fundraiser because they didn't like. I helped this family raise $15,000 in a couple of days, $11,000 in one day, and people started reporting her fundraiser because they didn't like the fact that a black woman was raising that kind of money. So they reported an actual Palestinian family.
And mind
So
you,
now what?
and mind you, the group they are literally linked to stealing from Palestinians who are experiencing an active genocide. There's no fucking way that any rational person with half a brain in their head can then sit and say that I, in response to months of harassment, saying, hey, harassing me is not an effective and acceptable fucking method of self-promotion for your cause. Report that.
And this,
I'm not a wrong person for that. And if you think I am, that's great. I need you to know I don't give a fuck.
And I just
need
want
you
to
to know
respond.
that if you think that is an acceptable price to pay, bitch, is not, and I hope you suffer. And you can, and that's on record. You can put it on record because I don't care about being respectable. I don't care about if you people like me. What I care about is not being harassed. And if the way to shut you up is to take away your means of begging, then bitch, I will do that. And I will not feel bad about it because why do y'all think harassing me while I am fucking 8 months pregnant with a high risk pregnancy and is an acceptable fucking thing to do? Now, mind you, I am a resilient person and I am a very emotionally regulated person. And I am able to keep the impact of what you hope will happen here to a very, like, a minimum. But it doesn't change the fact that you tried. It doesn't change the intent. And that intent needs to be punished. That intent is not fucking okay. I'm not going to pretend that intent is fucking okay. I'm not going to pretend that it's acceptable for you to try to eat off of it. Starve, bitch.
And so now what? Now that you know the truth, D, first of all, D, did you go to any Antifa accounts and ask them what you were going to do?
So he's bringing up Peaches. We ain't had shit to do with Peaches. We ain't had shit to do with Peaches. Peaches has been broke and begging in mutual aid groups for 2 fucking years. She has exhausted her community, and that's why her acts don't get fulfilled. You are forever banned from my channel, with your musty ass. Get the fuck out of here.
I was just gonna respond because they gonna say because y'all gonna attack her. No, the fuck we not.
We don't
Your
even
dumb
know.
ass. She didn't come in here saying that. Your dumb ass came in here saying
If
that.
Peaches had come to us for help, maybe her ass would have been fulfilled. But she decided to try to promote her shit by pretending that we're attacking her. We're not. And now we're not going to help you either.
Why would you just come and ask? You see,
I don't even know who that is, to be honest with you.
Brag, but my platform moves in the thousands. I have moved in the hundreds of thousands of mutual aid in a day. And I'm not exaggerating. So these people get weird and they're too proud to come and ask for help. So they want to take it, and they want to take it by attacking me and redirecting the funds to their pages. And it never fucking works. It never works and it never will. And that's why they're still attacking.
And I think Peaches like followed me. But the thing with me is I am not going to blindly just boost your mutual aid. Like, I have had people follow me and not interact with anything that I do. And all they do is post their mutual aid, post their mutual aid. Okay, we're not in that case. Just because you follow me does not mean we're in community with each other. There's a difference between you following me and you being in community with me. And anyone can tell you, I have boosted mutual aid of people who are in community with me, and I don't have a problem with getting them money. I am working on a fundraiser right now that starts on Monday for someone who is in community with me. And community with me means engaging in my content, talking back and forth. I should know something about you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who this Peaches woman is.
We don't know Peaches. We just saw one of the people who follows me. She commented on their post. That's the first time we'd ever heard of this woman. Nobody's reporting her. I actually have seen her on Facebook. I saw her page. I was like, that is a very familiar URL because I apparently have a photographic memory. I said, that's a very familiar URL. I go back and boom, she's in all the mutual aid groups that I'm in. And she posted, we don't know you, Queen, and that's okay. You need help, and that's okay to need help. But you can't sit there and neg people because you're not receiving help. A lot of people aren't receiving help.
Right.
This is where emotional manipulation comes in, right? This is where these unqualified acts or just random blind acts become manipulative, because I have so much empathy for the fact that there are people out there that are struggling. I have been homeless. Okay. I grew up, I am an orphan. My mother was murdered when I was 13. But before that, she was an addict. I have been taking care of myself since I was 6. I left my home with my great grandparents who couldn't care for me when I was 13, and I've been taking care of myself since. And so for anybody to sit on these apps and pretend that I am like some super privileged person because I have managed to scrounge my way to some sense of fucking stability, it's insane. I know struggle. I know the kind of struggle where your family gets food stamps and they run out by the middle of the month, and so you scrounge for every single meal for the rest of the month if you are not in school. I know that kind of poverty, right? And the idea that I am just attacking unquantified people in need, it is fucking insulting. It's
It
false.
is.
It's not something
Yeah.
I would do. It's not something that's in my character. I used to do a lot of mutual aid efforts. And in the middle of all of this, somebody who I had forgotten that I had fundraised money for, because she was just on my Facebook friends list. And I saw that her son had passed away. And we had been in community with each other for a few years. And without even asking her, without saying anything to her, I went and I raised I think it was like $1,500 for her, because I was like, that is a woman who I know, because we're in community. She is overburdened. She just had something super fucking traumatic happen to her. I know she ain't got money like that. I know that I have a platform that I can help her. And right now I have capacity to do that. And I did it. And I just went to her when the money was there and I was like, come plug in your payment details, and gave her the GoFundMe. Because that is the type of person that I am when I see somebody I'm in community with suffering. And that hasn't stopped just because I don't do it for strangers anymore, right?
Yeah.
I still do that for the people that are closest to me. I house the people in my actual physical community who need a place to go. I give my money to organizations that I know are going to put it to good use because they have the time and the energy and the capacity to do the vetting that I don't. So the idea that I am attacking mutual aid or anti-mutual aid as a whatever because I'm just this super rich ass person who's making a whole bunch of money from the DNC, it's fucking dumb. I don't attack people. First, I never attack people for no reason. Let's start there. Don't get, the little one-liner quips that I do to stupid posts confused with just attacking people for no reason.
Yeah.
I defend myself. And I am never going to be sorry for defending myself. Like I said earlier about Palestine and like how people respond to their colonizers, I don't give a fuck about, because, and that's how I feel about myself. If you take time out of your life, not just your day, because it's been months, bitch. You took time out of your life to dedicate to months of stalking me, archiving my posts, harassing me, misinformation. knowing again this entire time that I have been a high risk pregnant woman, knowing that a certain amount of stress could kill my baby. And you expect me to give a fuck if you hungry for a few days?
That's what I was talking about, breaking in my house and complaining that I stepped on your toes.
Baby, good. And the thing is, you break in my house, I am legally justified to shoot you in the forehead, bitch. And so if all I do is step on your toes, you
That's what
should be
You should
happy.
be happy.
Why are you in my
Yeah.
house? Why are you in my house? Like I say all the time, if I'm not for you, I promise it's fucking okay. Leave me alone, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Auntie, you
I'm,
got something?
I do. I'm gonna give my last thoughts because I'm gonna have to get off of here.
Yeah, you go ahead. This is gone like twice the time we planned. So
Yeah. So here go my final thoughts. Right. I don't mess with nobody. I don't bother nobody. But if you come at me, I'm gonna cuss you out. If you come at me, I'm going to let you continue because I'm a soldier. Okay. I'm gonna create a paper trail. I play for keeps. I'm not doing this little fuck back and forth bullshit y'all like to do on the internet. I create a record and I turn that in. I'm not a fed, but goddamn it, I promise you, I'm connected. It's some of y'all out there got cases right now that don't know you got a goddamn case because you've been harassing me online. And I just let you do your thing while I screenshot, capture URLs and everything else. So understand, my heart don't pump Kool-Aid. You ain't scaring shit. All you scaring yourself into is a goddamn police record. Keep fucking with me, huh? Ladies, it's been nice.
it's been
Y'all have
wonderful having you. And we're gonna have to go ahead and I still have a few more things that I want us to get to, but I say in the next 15-20s we gonna go ahead and wrap up too, y'all.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Have
y'all
a
have a
good
good
one.
night.
Yeah,
All right.
you. All right. Okay.
I,
So
go
so
ahead.
go ahead. No. I was gonna segue into a different question, but if you have thoughts on this, go ahead.
So I just want to say that there's actually like a third reaction that I've been interacting with, which is that people are trying to do like a damage control. Damage control. We've
Mhm.
seen people who are messaging people who we're talking to about stuff, and they're saying, "Hey, why'd you say that? You need to take that down." Not okay. Not okay. There's somebody who I was close to who was a mutual who I had to block because they were in my inbox trying to say, "Hey, this is damaging the Palestinian campaigns that we have going." And I said, I don't really know how that works, but hey, I'm not Swana. Maybe there's something I don't know. And then come to find out, I'm not having a material difference on whether people are getting mutual aid or getting their GoFundMe's taken care of. It took me a second to figure out, like, it take me a second to process, but none of us have a material difference on whether somebody else's post gets called out or gets followed or gets funded or not, unless we're directly sharing it. So the people who are going through to people that they know that we've talked to because we have information from them and saying like, oh, you need to take your post down. How dare you share information? Da, 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 da. I see you. I see how you're moving and it's snake shit and I don't like that. And you need to stop doing that because that is like, it's victim intimidation. It's intimidation. That's not okay. It's not
Moving
cute.
like the mob. I said that they're moving like the mob. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's it's just one of those things where that person has been online. They're like, I just want to make sure that it's for Palestine and da, da, da. I went on their TikTok because we were mutuals on TikTok, found their like, here's the anti-blackness in the Swana region. They're trying to be educational, but then they're on threads doing the exact opposite. And now they're trying to go through and make sure people don't talk to us. That's a little odd. That's not how that works. So that's a third reaction that I've gotten, and that's not okay. If I see you doing that, I'm gonna call you out.
I know organized crime when I see it. See, this is another thing, these bitches that I don't tell my whole story all the time, but I was raised by a queen pin. I'm not even exaggerating. You can Google Queen of the South. My aunt was a legit queen pin, right? Second mom to me. So I see these patterns. I see this is literal organized crime. When we're hopping into people's inboxes and trying to intimidate them and make them take stuff down because it's exposing some illegal shit we did, that is organized crime. These are patterns I grew up seeing, not necessarily glorified, but I saw these patterns growing up. And that's another reason that I feel like my activism is effective because I've seen I've seen like the ugliest side of the streets, and I've seen like the dope dealer, the queen pin, the streets, and I took that and I flipped it into a positive to do good. That's the energy I put into fundraising. That's the energy I put into I don't give a fuck. You're not gonna intimidate me when it comes to my activism, and that's why I recognize these patterns too, because they literally are a bunch of fucking thugs. I said that on my I said that the other day. They're a bunch of thugs.
Not just thugs, but also bullies. And I posted about this too, where so when I was younger, because I was poor and because my mom was an addict, I was bullied a lot between 3rd grade and 6th grade. And I tried my best to be reasonable with these girls, and I tried my best to like be their friend and to make myself small and to be quiet. And what I learned is that just makes them escalate. Because now they know what you're willing to take. And so that now what else can we do? Now what else can we do? And you know what I started doing about 6th, 7th grade? Beating the fuck out of bitches. Beating the fuck out of bitches. I got tired. I got fed up. And that is the thing that taught me that once you have tried to be reasonable, if a person still wants to go there, it's because the only thing that they understand, the only language that they understand is violence. And bullies are just like organized crime people, where violence is language. And you know what else? Violence is the language of colonizers. Violence is the language of colonizers. And this is a whole bunch of colonial ass behavior. You saw Black women minding their business, owning their own resources, owning their own influence, using it in ways that they controlled. And you thought, absolutely fucking not. What can we do to break this up?
Vanilla Gate. Vanilla Gate.
You know, like what can we do to disrupt this? This is unacceptable. You know, how can we, you know, get in the middle of this somehow and make it ours? And that's colonizer behavior. For sure. And colonizers only understand violence. And for y'all, because the violence is for monetary gain, I'm gonna come after your money.
Yeah,
I sure am. Let me tell you something. I am a banker by trade. Okay.
Cool.
I have access to all kinds of personal information. And it is legal for me to use it for non-work purposes. And there will come a time where I will be holding all of y'all accountable. There will. I will find you, and I'm going to hold you accountable. You thought that harassing me was going to be a financially successful venture. I assure you, it will not be. and that is that. On that.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I add something? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to add this because I feel like it's important for the people who are logging on and they're like, you know, I'm just so confused and I want to catch up on what Scamtifa is. I feel like there's a analogy that I want everybody to have, because I see too many people trying to distance themselves, and I feel like we haven't spent enough time on the white bitches who spread them lies and bullied us. We have not. We have not. So I'm gonna say this. I use this analogy and this metaphor, whatever literary device it is, but I use this example on my social media. So let's say there was a Black woman carrying a basket of apples, and a known group of bandits, they come and they assault her, they beat her up, and they knock her over, and they take some of the apples, right? They're known for that. We expect that, right? Maybe we didn't, but they took some of the apples. But then some of the villagers, they saw her on the ground, they came and got some apples too. Some of the villagers got a couple kicks in, and then they got some apples too. Some of the villagers are just fucking weirdos, and they just assaulted her, and some of the villagers watched. But y'all are all complicit, and you are all fucking guilty. You saw this.
Absolutely.
If you were dumb enough, if you were too dumb to get some fucking apples, some of y'all just sat there and watched. You weren't even smart enough to get your own fucking apples. But the white women who spread those lies, calling us bullies,
screenshots,
names, all of that, you took fucking apples. When you mentioned my name, when you mentioned uppity, you took fucking apples because you knew it was going to bring engagement to your slow ass page. You sat there and watched, and you didn't say shit, and you watched them assault the Black woman to take the fucking apples. You are no better than everybody else. So don't pacify yourself in your fucking head saying, oh, I didn't do it. No, you're just as fucking bad. You either took apples or you watched it.
Yeah, and bystanders are absolutely just as complicit. You see what they're doing or what they're trying to do, again, because I can never be anybody's victim. I'm too good at defending myself. right? And I feel like they know that, which is why they're trying to blame me for everything going horrible in their life. And while I wish I could take credit, I promise I ain't did shit yet.
Yeah. I want to just say really fast. I see the comment about rice and beans. I just want to say that they were also being manipulated by another person. There's a lot of stuff with that story. So I'm going to say not too much on rice and beans. They may have said something, but they were in a very emotionally vulnerable and mentally vulnerable place. They have postpartum depression. They're by themselves. And somebody was in their ear being very manipulative of their mental state. So I'm not going to just want to clear that up, but also
corroborate that too, because I've seen
yeah,
I've seen screenshots from her, that person where I'm like, but the person it was coming from, I'm like,
exactly, yeah. And I also just want to say that there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I didn't know. There's no way I could have known." Da 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 da.
We were telling you the whole time. We've been screaming the whole time.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
For the crowd of people who were like, "Well, I thought that they were right." A red flag should have been that a bunch of Black women collectively on different sides of the internet came together and said this was an issue. If you see this is actually something I told Camp Call. I said, if you see a group of people united together and they are saying something over here is wrong, especially when it comes to anti-Blackness and stuff like that. This was something in Candlegate. If you see all these people and then one person is like, actually, no, they're being mean to me. All of these people are joined together to be mean to me. You need to ask yourself. All of these Black women got together and they all hate this one person. Why? These Black women all got together. They have different platforms, completely different things going on in their lives. They all talk to different people.
Different opinions, right?
Yeah, we have different opinions, different followings, different purposes on the internet. We've been on the internet a different amount of times, but all of us were like, nah. Yeah. Aaliyah Sheffield is a musician. She's doing her own thing.
Aaliyah needs to get the hell out of her business. Now, why did y'all harass her?
Aja is a sustainability person. Completely different.
Why is she involved? That's what
I know.
Weekend when Kia got involved, because y'all just doing
right.
Yeah, like, y'all just pick Black women.
Right, because the big thing is, well, why was I in it? Because I said you were anti-Black. Okay, you have a choice to just stop being anti-Black, but no,
I just wasn't even naming anybody.
Route and decided, oh, I'm just going to continue to escalate it. Look, I am a kind person. I am the kindest person you will ever meet. I sat there. I was on this live and cried when Keandria was talking about her husband. But you fuck with me, I'm going to fuck you up. Period.
Yeah. I just feel like, and my gum fell out my mouth. I just feel like I dislike the dynamic of the passive aggression of I am going to pick at this person and pick at this person and pick at this person until they react. And I posted about this earlier too, where what I respond to is only about 3% of the shit I get. And if you think you see me responding to a lot, I need you to do that math. Okay? And so once I get to the point where I'm like, okay, bitch, I want you to starve, you need to know that that person pushed me 97 times before we got there. Right. It's never an immediate fuck you. It's never an immediately, like most of the time, people who disagree with me in my comments, I'll tell them politely, that's great. I don't care though. I always give people a chance to go mind their business. Some people just don't know how to do that. And some people, that's their intention. They don't want to mind their business. They want to bother me. And so then when I'm bothered, now they're a victim. And you will be that, because once you get me to that point where I'm going to attack you, you will be feeling like a victim and it will be a rational response. But don't forget how we got here. I am a bully, but I do protect myself and I do protect my space. And I have the right to do those things. And I'm not going to feel bad ever for doing those things. And I'm not going to let anybody gaslight me into feeling like it's not okay for me to do those things. I let so much shit go, but at the end of the day, it comes like I'm still a person, and you can only push a person so far before they react. If somebody comes into my house and decide that they're not going to leave, it is a rational response for me to throw that bitch out like Jazz on the Fresh Prince. That
Right.
is a rational response to somebody being in your house that you don't fucking want there that won't leave. Like, and so I just hate that so much of the narrative is still based around policing us. Even the
And,
people who think that they're on our side still think that
mhm,
they have the right to police how we respond to this. None of you have the level of visibility, especially that me and Keandria have. And for as
yeah,
much as y'all think that I have it bad, Keandria has had
That's
it
it.
the absolute fucking worst. And
yeah,
that
What
lady actually does mutual aid.
it's fun,
every day.
right?
Like, and
It,
so like I just don't like that y'all feel like, and again, I keep repeating this. Why do y'all think harassing black women should be a consequence-free behavior?
It
Why do
should.
y'all think harassing black women should be a consequence-free behavior? White bitch cried for 3 months because I called her chin pointy. But you are allowed to tell me that you think I'm going to be a bad mother because I reacted to your abuse, and I'm not supposed to ruin your life.
mm.
And it's that thing, you know how people it used to happen all the time early on Facebook and TikTok where people be like, well, we need to see the other part of the video because they would sit there and take videos of black people reacting to somebody doing something fucked up and the black person finally decided to hit them. And they're like, oh, see, look, so and so hit so and so. And they just got that last part of the video. And we don't know what happened. We don't know the 15 minutes earlier, the
I was
20 minutes earlier.
about that today in the group chat, though. If y'all remember, I was
Mhm.
very irritated and talking about that today.
Yeah, throwing rocks, hiding your hands. You hit me first. You hit me first 20 minutes ago. And I didn't, I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave you alone. Then you started calling me names. Then you started saying stuff. I also just want to say, I'm not much with the name calling. If you call me a name, that's automatic. If people see me scorch the earth because you called me a certain name, don't do that shit. That's my thing. Don't fuck with me about that.
I feel
But I do. There's R.I.P. to Mouse. R.I.P. Baby Mouse.
Yeah.
Your mama should not have called me the C word at 7 a.m. She didn't keep my name out of her mouth, and she did, So thank you. Big ups to homie Mouse. But like you can't sit there and bother people. And the thing is, so I have a very trauma filled past, and people used to sit there and they try to gaslight me and be like, no, that's not what I said. No, I didn't say that. No, that's not how that happened. And on Left Book and Woke Book, oh my God, Kiki, you were there.
They weren't there, but I was there.
People used to they'd be like, I didn't say that. I never said that on live. I didn't da 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 da. And I screenshot since 2014. I have been screenshotting weird interactions with people because y'all are not going to sit up here and lie on me on Woke Book in front of everybody I know because you
You know
think that
what?
you didn't say
It
that.
made me realize that so much of how I run my platform is a fucking trauma response, and I'm gonna have to unpack that with my therapist. Because look, I was on Wokebook and I was very popular on Wokebook to the point that it did lead to me starting my own platform, which is now, Uppity Negress. And then Facebook shut down that page last year and I rebranded as Uppity Negress Redux. But like, and I am also a person who has been a victim of sort of profound abuse by people. And so much of abusive behavior is changing the narrative to try to make your abuse your fault. So much of the abusive behavior is decontextualizing your actions. And so much of abusive behavior is villainizing reactive abuse because the only good victim is one who doesn't strike back. I'm never going to be a good victim, bitch. I'm never gonna be a good victim, bitch. You gonna have to look. You want to victimize me? It's a job. It's a fucking job.
that's
And
Yeah.
why
and and I'm always going to not. I don't even like talking about the individuals that attack me. I really like breaking down the behavior because so many people don't think about the interactions and how it is gaslighting because they've never been to that place where
Right.
they have been gaslit in those ways. And realistically, racism itself is gaslighting because how do you look at white people and then decide that they're superior?
Also, even with y'all on here on this app, on not on this app, on Threads, Y'all spent months telling us that what was anti-Black was not anti-Black. And then we're posting, I literally multiple times have said, it's not what you said, it's the way that you attacked us when we had a mistake that is anti-Black. Somebody misunderstood something and boom. This was before Kiki got into it. And it was back when it was just that petty ante. It's like, hey, you guys could have came to her differently about this. If you thought that this was such an issue, you could have came to her differently. But within 5 minutes, y'all got 60 posts up. How is she supposed to react after you made 60 posts calling her a Zionist?
Right.
What do you think? What do you think the reaction is? And then when I say, hey, that's anti-Black, y'all are like, oh, so Black women can't get critiqued? Ain't nobody said that. 0 people said that.
Bitch,
0 people
can't
said
critique me, white person, motherfucker. You can't.
You can critique me, and I cannot give a fuck.
Yeah, critique is fine. Critique is fine. What's not fine is you calling me out my name. What's not fine is you doing death threats. What's not fine is you making 16 posts about somebody and they don't even see the posts. That's not okay. That people have whole pages dedicated to making posts, number one, about Keandria, but number two, just posting stuff. I found somebody was calling out Keandria. I go on their page to see what are they doing. They got posts about me and I have never even seen that person. I also don't have that big of a following. How the hell did you find me? It's weird. That's weird. And you're not going to sit there and tell me it's not weird.
The thing that really got my goat was that one girl whose name I'm not even going to say because it's clear that she wanted attention to sell her shitty art. But she literally said in her post, I don't have full context for this, but I know for a fact Uppity Negress is on a power trip.
Yeah.
Was it crack?
I had to message her and be like, hey friend, because we know each other from Woke Book. I'd be like, hey friend.
Because I'll ask before, and I've learned that if I see any of y'all are mutuals, I'll be like, hey girl, hey, this your friend? Like, there are situations where I've popped off on somebody and I didn't know there was somebody else's friend. So I start asking, like, hey, is this your friend? Check her, because this is weird.
Hey, look, if y'all see anybody as mutuals with me and they acting out towards you, that's them. That's them on their page doing themselves. But when I saw that post, I was like, oop, hold on. You don't know the full context. I commented and I said, you do not know the context of this. You need to take this down. This is not the look that you think it is.
She didn't take it down. And you know why she did it? Because it's the most fucking engaged thing she's ever posted.
I was just about to say that. There were several people that told her you didn't have the full context. When you scroll through her Threads account, that was the most engagement she got. And the first thing she said was Uppity Negress is on a power trip. How are you going to say that, but you don't know what's going on?
That's the same pattern with all of those pages. If you go on their page and they post about themselves, nobody cares about them. Nobody wants to hear about them with their 5 followers, 25 followers, whatever you got going on. You're not posting anything interesting. But as soon as they mention
me after you attacked me, admitted you don't have full context, expected me to explain myself to you. Bitch, who the fuck are you? Like, even if you were curious about the context of the conversation, like, how was that going to get you where you need to be, especially for a person you believe is on a power trip?
Yeah. And there was somebody who they were a mutual of mine. They came at Keandria. They said she was an asshole. I'm like, yeah, they probably misunderstood that post, but they also called you an asshole. Like, they called you an asshole.
Like, what the hell? I'm sitting here eating the damn ham. I swear to God, that true story.
Like, I'm over here trying to sharp my life away, and you mad at me. Like, you don't feel weird doing that?
Hamburger with my child. I'm like, let me check Threads. Keandria is an asshole. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what did I do?
And like, if somebody's a mutual with me and they're out there calling somebody a name, that is their business. You can let me know, so you can be like, Diane, what the fuck? They're out here just doing random shit. But I'm like, hey, she called you an asshole. You could say whatever you want. That's between you and her.
And I'm just blocking you because I don't have time for any of this bullshit. It's bullshit and it's juvenile. I'm just gonna block you.
Yeah, I usually don't have time for it, but I'm gonna leave.
Yeah. The amount of people that I have blocked within the past, since this whole thing has started. Yesterday, I blocked 20 people. 3 of them were mutuals of mine, and I removed them and blocked them because they continued to carry the narrative of, well, Uppity and Keandria are messing with mutual aid. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to explain shit. You want to believe this, so you believe this on your own time. Don't come over here and ask me for a goddamn thing because I'm not giving you nothing. Go over there and do whatever. I kicked someone out of the collective for the same thing.
And it's one of those things where it's like, never mind.
Because you can't do that. People do not understand. This is going to be my final thought. People do not understand community. This person was a community member. This person was listening to those leftist people, and this person was also trying to do mutual aid. And their mutual aid, first of all, was absolutely outrageous. I was like, this isn't mutual aid. Multiple times tried to help this person. Yo, this isn't mutual aid. Some of this is crowdfunding. You need to make a distinction between the two, this, that, and the third. Why are you listening to these people? They're not telling you the truth. They're lying to you. That person was in community with me and blocked me on Threads. And I was like, oh, ho, do you think you're going to be staying here doing that? Because you don't want me to see who you're following? When I know you're following people that are anti-Black and you're listening to them? And you want to call the petty auntie, oh, she's this, I'm going to block her. Keandria's this, I'm going to block her. First of all, the person is anti-Black because they were. Secondly, they only joined my community to get mutual aid because that's the only thing they talked about. Yep. Well, I need mutual aid and I need mutual aid. Okay, I also need mutual aid. I don't have a job. I'm unemployed at the moment. And if it wasn't for my parents, thank you, I love you dearly, I'd be homeless on the street. And so trying to get them to understand, like, look, everybody needs mutual aid. There are several people in this group that need mutual aid. The founder of the group need mutual aid because I didn't make a lot of money. I made a little bit, but I didn't make a lot. Yeah. You think everybody's supposed to give you mutual aid?
Yeah. And here's the thing, right? And this is a little personal. If I posted right now on my platform, hey, I'm really struggling right now. Can y'all give me some money? I know for a fact people will make money appear for me, right?
Same.
I take so much care with my platform with not asking when I don't have a super desperate need. Like, and when I say desperate, I mean like I have exhausted every resource, like blah, blah, blah. And I told you guys about this earlier. There was a point in time last year when I was just really sick for a long time and it was interfering with my income. I almost lost my house to foreclosure, right? But I did not ask anybody from my community because at that point, all of my resources were not exhausted. I still had things that I could do. And I did those things and I saved my house and I was okay. But I am so responsible with how I use my platform in relation to me. Why do you think I'm going to be uncritical when it comes to you?
Exactly.
And furthermore, if I have so much trouble asking my community for things for me when I know they will come through, why do you think I'm going to jump over that for you?
Exactly.
I'm just not. Like, that's a whole complex that I have within myself that I've been breaking down. And I'm not going to force myself to work through it for your benefit and on your time. I'm not.
Yeah, the people think that I dispel misinformation all the time. I'm not just going to sit here and just post whatever the hell people send me stuff and they're like, oh, could you post? I'm not going to just post random stuff that you send me. The family that I help out every month, in addition to myself, because I also am one of the 300,000 Black women who does not have a job. And will not, apparently I'm too overqualified for every job that I apply for now. So that's fun. That's been great. But the people that I help out, I know them enough to be like, this is someone I can help out. And I don't put all their business out there because you don't deserve trauma porn just so I can help somebody. But it's one of those things where this situation annoyed me because I was like, y'all don't trust me when I say that this is anti-Black. Y'all trust me when I said the Candlegate guy was a registered sex offender. But somehow when I say something is anti-Black and I'm Black, when I say something's misogynoir and I'm a Black woman, now that needs to be fact checked. Now we got to go. I looked up Gavin Newsom and I fact checked every single thing that man said for 2 years straight. And you think I'm not going to fact check defending somebody? You think I'm just going to, oh, hey, they're a Black woman? No, I looked stuff up. And honestly, I'm gonna be real, because y'all are Black women and there's so many Black women, just if you're a person who needs facts, the fact that these people have hundreds of posts about 2 Black women, mainly 2 Black women, should give you the inkling that something is wrong.
On dozens of profiles ran by the same people.
If you look up Keandria's name, there is no less than 2,000 posts. No less. That is insanity.
That's
fucking weird. There was
That's insanity.
Oh, I shit you not. This was such an almost an out of body experience to me. There was some point where I literally was thinking, there's no fucking way y'all talking about me more than you're talking about Trump, Cardi B, Obama. Why am I number one in this conversation? Y'all's priorities are fucked up. Because regardless, I've done some crazy shit in my life. There's no way I should be trending more than Trump. We're being
none of us are famous. And I've also been trending on threads behind this silly shit. And
it's absurd because y'all are not celebrities. Y'all don't make enough money for people to talk about y'all as much as they do. It is an absurd amount of content. People are making content to talk it, and that to people that's not weird to y'all. That doesn't.
Like, it's not like we are sharing content to get you to really buy something. Even though I have my small business, I don't even talk about my small business as often as I should. Like, I am literally just existing, and hoes are mad and obsessed. And y'all think somehow in that I must be the villain.
And they're all blocked. People are all blocked. It's not like y'all are interacting with them. These are people who have been blocked for months, writing post after post after post after post after post about someone that does not talk to them. That is what ex-boyfriends do. That is what stalker ex-boyfriends do. You block them on everything. They send you an email. You block their email. Now they're on Facebook talking about how, oh, she just ruined the relationship. That's the same energy. And y'all aren't picking that up.
And it is abuser and bully and colonizer energy. Yep.
And it blows my mind that, again, people sit there and they're like, Diane, I trust you with information. Diane, all of your information is correct. And the one time that I say, hey, here's all the screenshots of people being anti-Black, they're like, that could be interpreted not anti-Black. And I'm like, by who? By you who is not Black? You want to say that something's not anti-Black? And also, there's a whole bunch of people in people's comments trying to co-sign and be like, yeah, so-and-so is definitely no. That's really that's my final thought. I know that you have the projects that people are doing. I just want to say, I probably got to go eat, but
after this, I was just going to wrap it up. Yeah. It's been a while. What I will say is that this was great. And I do feel like we need to do more of these.
Obviously, we got a lot to say.
We got a lot to say. And I was not expecting this to go. We went 2 hours longer than I thought we would, because it was just so much to talk about and so much to cover and so many tangential. Somebody say that word for me.
Tangential.
Okay.
There you go, because I can't say it.
And we could probably talk about this some more because, again, it's still ongoing.
Yeah.
It's still ongoing, and I don't see that these people are going to stop anytime soon, unfortunately. But I just want to close with, if you have any projects that you would like to talk about, and then, sign off.
I know, Keandra, you had your hand up for a second.
Yeah, and this might be a different live because I saw something in the comments and there's something I've been thinking. Me and Uppity, as everybody's like, oh, it's the following size. there's something we have in common, and that is having a piece of content, whether it's a book, whatever, that is an olive branch to white people saying, hey, if you want to connect with us, this is what you need to do. And
I
I think
make so much content like that where it's like,
that's the
look,
problem.
you don't got to be like this, bitch. And here's
Yeah,
how.
and I think it's because they don't like, it's not like the magical Negro, it's something different. It's a black woman in position of power. Like, you can't sit with us. This is a club. This the cookout, or the cookout's closed. But this is a club, a space you're trying to get in without being seen as harmful. And this is what you have to do to get in our good graces. And they don't like us having that kind of power.
Yep.
And so that's to say, like, I have a book that's already a bestseller, and it's only at pre-order. It's called Hey White Girl. And I want to be clear about that. My book is not teaching white people how to be a good white person. No, it's from the heart of a black woman saying, hey, you are a white woman and you are the closest minority to me. This is how y'all have harmed us. And if you don't want to be a piece of shit, maybe think about that. Right? I've been open about that, and people respond to it. And from what I've seen from Uppity Hers, it's really, really similar. It's not saying, hey, here's how you could be the perfect white person. It's saying, hey, you're not going to be in my fucking space if you don't get your shit together. So here's a list of things you need to work.
So my decolonizing whiteness book is actually a guide to help them being better people, better global citizens, decentering the white parts of their self, understanding that they are not the default, understanding the way that their whiteness shows up in conversations with us. And I do not do that in my comments, though. And I very purposely don't do that in my comments because guess what? I'm not going to fucking do it for free. I'm not going to do it for free. I do think it's labor that needs to be done. I do think that I have a unique voice and space and ability to have it. I'm not going to have it for free, though. And so with all of my decolonizing books, like, for example, y'all know how much I hate pick-me's, right? But I have decentering men. And decentering men is about, I understand that we live in a patriarchal system and you've been taught to think this way, and that in a lot of ways you might not have even realized your conditioning or whatever, and you've been taught to be a pick-me ass bitch. Let's really do the internal work of unpacking where the personal meets the political there. And my books are actually very, very soft and very gentle and very coddling, because I'm not going to do it for you on my timeline, and I'm not going to do it for you for free. And if you want to be a safer person, you need to invest in that fucking journey. You need to do the work, and then you can come around and sit with me. And so, my approach in my books is actually pretty gentle, and nobody really, I think, expects that from me. But but also I feel like that's why they've been so successful. Like my small business right now is so successful that I am in a space where I'm probably going to be able to stay home with my baby. I'm going to be able to quit my day job and stay home with my baby because my small business is doing so well. So clearly there are a lot of people who need that approach and find it valuable. I have 100% 5-star reviews, and people are just like, wow. Like sometimes when I post excerpts, especially from decentering men, people are like, I didn't even know I needed this, and I'm about to go buy it right now. And so, I do think that there is some degree of benefit to being gentle and understanding. I don't think that I should have to do that all day, every day in my comments for free to people who are being those mindsets, they're harmful. And so you are asking me on a daily basis to do a level of emotional labor that nobody with my level of visibility can reasonably do. I get interacted. I reach across social media, all my platforms, about 100 million people a month. I get interacted with, even with me cutting off my comments as often as I do. And y'all know I'll limit the fuck out of my comments so motherfucking fast. Like, even with that, I get interacted with 10 million times a month across my social media. I cannot reasonably give that to every single person and still be a person and still survive and be free. And so, my books are actually pretty gentle, and, www.uppitynegris.com. But they're also journals, because it's not just me telling you things. There's some things inside of yourself that you really need to think about and be honest with and come to the table with, and you got work to do. And I can help facilitate that work for you. And my books have done so in a way that a lot of people have found very, very helpful. Um, but I'm not gonna do it in my comments. I'm just not. I don't have it to give. My When I am on social media, that is my free time. And I posted this the other day. When I'm doing things in my free time, baby, I'm gonna be free. I'm not doing no work for you.
Oh, my turn. Sorry. Well, since the collective got dragged into this, let me just talk about the collective. Um, Anyone can join. We're going to start classes again in January. We have anti-racism and community building classes for people who need to stop being anti-racist, and for people to know how to build a true community. Because one thing those Antifa pages they were not a true community. So check us out. And also, since the collective is part of the Dark Money Club, we're gonna have the collective Dark Money Club shirts coming soon.
I'm getting one.
Yay! So, if you want to be part of a Dark Money Club, there will be a link soon to purchase your collective Dark Money shirt.
Someone asked if they wanted to work with the collective. Can they?
Absolutely. Absolutely, you can work with the collective. You can DM me or Trey talk. I don't know if she's still in the live.
No, Trey left a little bit ago. She had to go.
But you can DM me or Trey if you want to work with the collective. Absolutely.
All right, Diane.
So right now, I just have Threads. That's my main place, but I'm working on a lot of YouTube content. I just reached out to like 5 people for collabs for videos on topics that I've been talking about. I'll be talking about AI, music, and all this kind of stuff, the effects of right-wing gender roles on the right-wing people. So we have a lot of like deep dives that I'm going to be doing, and I'm trying to collaborate with different people from different spaces and just make a lot of more YouTube content. I also have a whole bunch of shirts that I've been designing that are going to be available soon, just because I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm an artist first. I'm a graphic designer. So there's a lot of things that I've been talking about, like being a Black spaghetti evangelist, that I think would be very fun to have on like merch and like shirts. So stay tuned on my page. I've got a lot of projects that I'm finally in a space to do now that I'm mostly moved into my new place. But also, your girl is broke. Links are always in bio. Please, I have no job.
Right, same. I also have no job. My link tree is in my bio.
We are the 300,000 Black women who cannot get rehired. Please support. I'm always doing something, but I am very broke, and I have ACA subsidies. So if you're not talking to your politician, understand that I might need help with some insurance payments, because they're looking like $700 a month. So please talk to your politician. If you do nothing after this live as far as political action, go bombard your politician that we need to have ACA subsidies, because my insurance going from $200 to $700 is absolutely insane, and that's not even including medication. So let's keep Diane sane. Keep ACA subsidies in the world. I need my medication, everybody.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. The ats for each of these ladies are in the scroll. I did, in my Facebook comments, put up Keandria's page and also Petty Auntie's Facebook page. If you guys have Facebook pages and you want to be known, please go ahead and send that information to me. But other than that, this has been great. And as I said, that Aaliyah said, this was great. And I hope that the takeaway that people take from this, if you've been watching the whole time, is, leave Black women alone. believe Black women. And also just recognize that we don't actually owe you shit. And whatever we do give and are willing to give, you could just say thank you and then leave it at that. And I'm going to go ahead and close it out. And bye.
Bye, you guys.